Okay, so before I do any introductions, Shem, I want to let you know that somebody quoted one of your lines from Solo Leveling Abridged on the
Oh
pilot
shit.
in the comments.
Well,
They were like, yeah, I was doing pretty good with getting through this and not really laughing, and then he pulled the sword on he pulled the sword on Mans and goes, don't talk about my boy Jinwoo like that. And I'm like, God
it's
damn
true though.
it.
Don't talk about the pro tag that way.
I
It's
mean,
not
there's a
cool.
lot of people that said that they weren't really laughing much, and then like one random like saying that we said, like, let's do what one shepherd said to the other shepherd. What? Let's get the flock out of here. And I'm like, I'm so glad I wrote that joke into
Yeah.
this into that episode. That was one of my jokes that I pitched. I'm glad people liked it. It's I can't claim it as mine. It's not original. Much like most things in abridging, we do get some jokes from other places. That one actually came from one of the Lethal Weapon movies. I don't remember which one, but yeah, Mel
Oh,
Gibson said it in one of the Lethal Weapon movies. There's four of them, man. I mean, I like the
that is
fourth one the
true.
best because it had Jet Li.
Oh,
Yeah, it was
that's
Jet
pretty
Li's
cool. I wonder if
first
he's
movie.
doing anything anymore.
Jet Li?
That guy probably made a ton
No
of
idea.
money and just kind of fucked off, which is fine.
I mean,
He was cool in a lot of movies though.
I hope that he's okay with the typhoons that came through recently.
Yeah,
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 be that way. All
yep,
right, so let's quickly catch up publicly about the fact that you're halfway through season 2 of Mushoku Tensei now. So
yeah. So
you have gotten to the point where and Sylphie are together.
yeah,
They have. I mean,
well, hold on.
they've hooked up. Have
Uh,
they gotten married?
he was. Hold on. Before I begin, this conversation is going to have spoilers for Mushoku Tensei season 2. There was a little bit of a spoiler, but I mean it's not that big. But I
No,
mean,
no, I'm not. I'm not giving spoiler
yeah,
warnings for this. You were the only person that like is behind. So
I guess that's
if they're
true. Well, I
here,
meant
if they're
like
here for the
for
light
the
novel
people here,
readings,
but eh.
no, I'm saying if they're here
Yeah,
for the
they're
light
gonna
novel
be spoiled
readings,
for it anyway.
they already know. They already know what they're
Okay, then
doing.
that'll be fine. But
Yeah.
yeah, so anyway, yeah, the whole I'm at the part where like the episode ended with him going to the princess and he's like, "Yeah, I'm going to marry her." And she went and she was like blue screening a little bit. It's pretty cool.
I love that
So
she
that
was
was it.
blue screening. Yeah.
I mean, that's
You
true. I
gotta
mean,
all right,
she
so
loves
here's the
that
thing.
man.
You have okay. So now that you've made it to that part, here's my next question. What did you think of Rudy's moment of PTSD when he saw Silent Seven Star again?
I was like, that makes sense.
Yeah,
That makes
like
sense.
he has that PTSD flashback with
Well, yeah,
Orsted. Yeah.
her friend gored the shit out of him and his friends.
Oh yeah.
How could he not be like freaking the fuck out? He hadn't
Absolutely.
seen her for like I don't know how much time was passed, but it's like instantly he saw the mask and was like freaking out and then
Now,
passed out because he had a panic attack. And I was like, yeah, that checks out.
so far things have been pretty cool, pretty chill.
Yeah,
Little slice of
yeah,
lifey, little slice of
yeah,
lifey, and we'll get a bit more of that. But I like some of the slice of lifey content because like all the slice of life stuff that's happening right now fucking
uh huh,
matters. It
yeah.
fucking
Of course it
matters.
does. Yeah.
And there's a few more of those things. We're gonna get to see an old friend we haven't seen in a minute. You'll get to see him in like a couple episodes.
Oh, okay,
Uh,
cool.
yeah, and then the man god's going to make an appearance again, and that's going to lead to the next turning point. So,
Oh,
and
okay.
after the turning point, shit starts to get a bit serious. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Also, you're going to learn a couple more things about Sylphie, so that's pretty cool. But yeah,
That's
my
pretty
guy.
cool.
Yeah, my guy. I
Cool.
think there is. You're halfway through now, but there is so much more to look forward to.
Oh yeah, of course. I need to also renew my Crunchyroll because it expired yesterday.
Oh,
So
I'm sorry.
it's
Uh,
okay. I just got to go get another card and figure it out.
sad
But it's
news.
fine.
Sad news,
Uh,
everybody.
eh.
For those that did not know, James Earl Jones passed away today.
Yeah. I
We'll
mean, he
talk
lived
about that
until
on Anime Chat.
93.
93, dude. Yeah, he was in there
Yeah,
for
so
a
that's
while,
very respectable.
and he'd already
And he
retired.
looked great. So,
Yeah,
huh?
he'd already he had retired as well. So
Yeah, so he lived a good life and he's left a really awesome legacy. It sucks, but yeah, I'm glad that he lived that long and, did some cool shit, made some great stuff, narrated a great fucking narrator voice.
mm-hmm.
So, it's great.
So out of the three people who played Darth Vader in the Lucas trilogy, we have now lost
Hmm.
two of them.
Man,
We have lost
that's
David
sad.
Prowse, the man behind the costume, and now James Earl
No, we
Jones,
lost his voice.
the voice. Yeah.
Man, sad.
Everybody,
I mean, it checks out though. Everyone's really old.
everybody, make sure Hayden Christensen is doing okay.
Yeah, I'm sure he's okay. I mean, he showed up for forgot what cameo he did recently. Obi-Wan, right? And wasn't he in that?
Well, yeah, he was in the Kenobi series, but he was also
Yeah.
in Ahsoka, which happened
Yeah.
afterwards.
Yeah. Just cool.
Yeah, it's especially cool when you realize that Rosario Dawson and Hayden Christensen were in the same theater group when they were
Oh,
back in the '90s. So they do
wow.
know each other. They're like friends and stuff. So it's actually pretty
Oh,
cool.
okay.
So it does feel kind of like a little reunion with Ahsoka and Anakin.
Yeah, that's cool.
Oh yeah,
What
there'd
else
be
is
a
there to talk about?
hurricane approaching.
Yeah.
Oh no, tropical storm now.
Yeah.
Tropical storm Francie.
Baja Blast. Blah. But
Mm-hmm.
yes, going back to the
Mushoku
Mushoku
Tensei.
Tensei,
Mm-hmm.
it's I mean right now it's like you said, it's slice of lifey, but I mean it's
Mm-hmm.
you know, it's to set up the scene and the later stuff.
Also, I love all the misunderstandings that are created because of the two fucking girls.
Oh, the Beast Girls.
Mm-hmm. Those
Yeah.
are that's Ghislaine's nieces. Well, one of them is.
Yeah, her
The
her
cat girl is
nieces.
his niece,
Yeah, that's right
and
because they're
she's the older sister of the cat girl that became friends with
uh
Eris.
Eris, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because she was like, "Oh yeah, I'm the older sister. I'm the eldest daughter of the chieftain of Doldia or the Doldia." So that's pretty
Mm-hmm.
cool. So, I mean, I like them. They're all right. It was just kind
Mm-hmm.
of like I was like,
So
"Oh
they're both
man." Mm.
so yeah. Ghislaine is both of their aunts, and it's going to be really interesting. I can't remember when it specifically happens, but I can't remember if Purina actually bumps into Ghislaine, if she's
Mhm.
around during that time, if it's before or after. I don't remember if the two of them meet later, but yeah, uh Ghislaine is her aunt, and that's that. And there we go. Guys, we're kind of stalling because I'm waiting for people. We're waiting for Moon. We're waiting for Sonic.
Yeah, that's fair. I
Guys
mean,
are
there was a
waiting
lot
for
to talk
Sonic.
about.
Yeah.
I
Oh, did you
forgot what
see that?
episode I was on before, huh? Sorry, go ahead.
Did you see that really shit Minecraft trailer?
Yeah, I was like, as soon as I saw the sheep, I was like, I'm done. I'm out.
Oh no, all the
I went back and
Minecraft stuff
eventually
actually
saw it.
looked all right. It's just
Yeah,
you
I had to
look
go
at
back
it
and
and
give
you're
it a
like,
second chance,
why
but I
is
was
there
like,
live action? Like our immediate reaction to seeing a live action Minecraft was why?
I thought it was gonna be like a Super Mario Brothers movie deal, where it was gonna be kind of like
That's
an
what we were all
animated
thinking and
3D kind of
hoping for.
funny,
Yeah.
haha. But it was like as soon as I saw live people, I was like, what the
Mm-hmm.
fuck?
Well,
This is
we
not
talked
gonna
about
go.
this. We talked about this on
Hmm.
Anime Church.
Yeah.
But we went from having a really crappy gaming trailer to having a really awesome gaming trailer because literally like a day or two later we got the official trailer for Arcane season 2, and
Okay. Oh, dude,
that's just
that
badass.
trailer,
Yeah.
that trailer looks fucking good.
Yeah, that trailer's badass.
Yeah, and it like it didn't. I don't know if it revealed too much yet because I wasn't sure what exactly they were displaying because it went really fast. I didn't
I
want to dissect it,
I
but
know
I was
some
like, oh man, this is
things.
gonna be good.
I
Yeah.
know some things like
I know some
Warwick.
things only because I read some stuff on the lore, but I mean also,
Yeah. Like the
if
fact that they
for
showed
people.
Warwick, and I'm like, oh god, if
Yeah,
Vi or
Warwick.
Jinx finds out, oh.
Yeah, that's gonna be a shit hits the fan kind of moment.
Yeah, they were like, I don't. There were some
Because I
people
know
going,
who he is too.
yeah, I do too,
So
and like
so it's like, oh shit.
it's so fucking funny. There were some people that watched the trailer and they were like, I don't know if this is gonna be as emotionally impactful as last season. I'm like. You don't even know the family drama going on right now.
Yeah,
Mm.
it's gonna be wild.
It's great. I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, but then it's man, I'm so looking forward to that. But yeah, I don't know. The Minecraft thing, I was just kind I mean, Minecraft's not like super dear to my heart. I like the game.
Minecraft. Minecraft.
Yeah, I mean, but it was just kind of like, oh my God. I was really surprised they didn't go the animated route, especially with how big a success the Super Mario Brothers movie was, you know? I would have thought they would have been like, oh yeah, cool. Animated movies are great. We could have totally done something like that, you know? But I don't know. I just felt kind of, and then seeing Jack Black, I mean, it was cool, but I was just kind of like, really? That's what you did? You just slapped a blue shirt on him and call it a day? Okay, cool. That's cool. Yeah, that's fine. All right. I was kind of sad. I mean, I at first I was kind of like when I was watching half the trailer, I was like, "Oh, maybe they'll be like, live action and then they'll turn into the block people and it'll be animated and it'll be interesting." I was like, "No, it's not going to happen. They're going to be live action through the whole fucking movie." Anyway, cuz I thought it was going to be kind of like a clever like Lego movie kind of deal, you know? But I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm wondering if
Lego
they
or
can't have
Mario
gotten.
Brothers.
Yeah, and I mean, it can't have gotten really good feedback, so I'm wondering if this is gonna be like an ugly Sonic situation.
Oh
But then
no.
again, the ugly Sonic situation was like such a rare thing.
Yeah, it was a freaking miracle.
So, and yeah, and then look where we are now. We have fucking Keanu Reeves as Shadow the Hedgehog, so it's like that's great. But, it's like, okay,
So,
well,
all right. So it's so weird to think that on that like 7 days ago he turned 60.
yeah, that's insane.
I'm like,
And he
bro,
looks great,
you
for his
can't be
age.
sick. He can't be 60 years old, man. That's a fucking lie. There's no way he's 60. Like
Hmm.
he his girlfriend is younger than him and she looks older than I'm like, bruh. All right, we've wasted enough time. I don't think they're getting here in any time for us to start. So, since I read last week, I'll have you go this week, and then I mean, if this keeps up, it'll just be the two of us trading back and forth. Why not, Shim? I appreciate your acting and reading skills.
Oh, thank you.
Yar,
You're
yar. That reminds me, I
okay.
might have you audition for a few
Mm,
more characters in solo leveling. We
sure
just got to
thing.
make sure. We just got to make sure that we play with your voice a bit, so you don't sound exactly the same.
Yeah, I mean that's kind of how my voice is, so I have to really mix and blend it a little bit more. I'm
Yeah,
trying to do that with
yeah.
the streams, but I know what you mean. So I have gotten
hmm
that criticism before, and I will work on it
I will
because
tell
I
you.
do
I
want
will
to
tell you
learn and
some
do
of.
better.
I will tell you some of what helps. Start doing
Mm,
impressions. They don't have to be
yeah,
good impressions. Just start doing impressions, and that will stretch. That will make your vocal cords a bit more malleable, so that you
yeah,
can.
it's a good
I
idea.
mean, I've been
I
doing
should do it more
impressions.
often.
I mean, don't try to do impressions in like your demo or anything, because that doesn't
Nah,
work. But like,
nah.
there's a lot of that. I'm trying to explain to people how doing impressions of people that are like higher in their pitch and their range and lower in their pitch and their range like can help to loosen your vocal cords a bit, make it easier for you to make your voice sound a bit different from your natural voice. And people are like, well, how do you do that? No, you can't do that. And I'm like, really? Listen to the solo leveling dub. Tell me,
Mm,
tell me that you think that the early Jinwoo or that the early Jinwoo and the later Jinwoo sound like two different people, and I will tell you that's one voice actor.
yeah.
Shit, it's the same thing in the Japanese version.
Mm-hmm.
Like, dude, there's a difference between early Jinwoo and later Jinwoo. So,
Mm-hmm.
anyhow, pardon me. So that's we're
Mm.
gonna.
I mean,
That's
that's
the
great
thing.
advice. I'll try and do that. I mean, I've been kind
Yeah.
of watching cartoons, like I've been watching Adventure Time a little bit my
Making
spare time, and
pancakes,
I'm just kind of like, yeah, and I've been really
making baby
enjoying the way that
pancakes.
Jake just kind of does his own thing, and he does a lot of like funny impression things of other characters
Oh,
sometimes.
dude, no. Here's another. That's another great example of somebody who can like seriously stretch their range.
I love John
Um,
DiMaggio. He's great.
John DiMaggio, yeah.
Yeah, Don
So
John
so listen
DiMaggio.
to
Yeah.
him as Jake. and then listen
Mhm.
to him as Marcus Phoenix.
Oh, okay. I'd have to listen to. I didn't know he was
Same
Marcus Phoenix.
yeah, he's Marcus
I knew
Phoenix.
he
He's
was
also
Joker at one point, and
yeah,
I was
he
like,
was the
"Holy shit,
Joker in
his
the Red
Joker is
Hood.
completely different." Yeah,
He
and
was
that
he
movie
was
was great. I did
yeah,
see
oh
that.
god.
Yeah,
Gotta
his
give the
Joker was.
boy points. He
Yeah,
came back from
he
the
was
dead to
good.
make this shindig happen. I'm trying
And then I
so hard
watched.
to match him. Gotta
It's
give the
hard.
boy points.
Yeah, he's got like that like nice graveliness to his voice.
Oh,
I like
oh.
him in the Scotsman, or as the
Mm.
Scotsman in Samurai Jack too. I'm calling you a coward.
Let's do one with you and me,
Yeah.
then one with me and the kid, then one with the crowbar.
Yeah.
Because that was Jensen Ackles as
Jensen.
Jensen Ackles as Jason Todd, Red Hood.
Ooh,
It
okay.
was like, you be quiet or the next one I'll put through your head. Party pooper. No cake for you. I also love that whole thing. Can I have a glass of water? Breaks it and slices through.
Oh yeah, after
like
he's
all his
eating the
instruments.
chips.
I'm gonna need some guys, not these
Yeah.
guys, because they're dead. I'm like, oh
Yeah.
my god, it's so like here. Yes, when I initially heard it, I liked where he was going with the character and how the character, but the voice kind of just didn't feel right because I was so used to Mark Hamill. And I think
Yeah.
that's how a lot of other people reacted. They're like, "It's not Mark Hamill. That's not."
But
my
I think
Joker."
it was
I'm like,
it was
"Please."
neat where he took it though.
Mhm,
You know,
it
he took it his
was.
own direction, and I was like, "Ooh,
And
interesting."
if you do check out the choose your own adventure version of like what was it Death in the Family or Red Hood or whatever, there is one where Batman dies and the Joker just stops.
Wow,
He just
because
stops
there is no
everything.
punchline.
Exactly. Crime has no
Yeah.
punchline. But
Yep.
what from that what happens is
Welcome.
they're at a diner and Jason has tracked him down and he's just sitting at the diner with him
Oh yeah, and it's
and
not
he
even
does the
like
whole and he
hinting to
just
be him.
and he looks
It's just some
over
guy in a
and
trench coat.
he realizes it suddenly. He goes, "Boy wonder." I'm
Yeah,
like,
and he sinks
and then
into
he
it, and I was like,
fucking
"Oh shit!"
yeah, he sinks right back into Joker so effortlessly. And the thing is, that's what I'm talking about like
And
your
Jason decks the
range
shit
and
out of
everything.
him.
Because
Mhm.
when he's talking as just the guy, he sounds
Yeah.
nothing like Joker, but he also doesn't sound like a lot of the
Joker.
other things that John DiMaggio is voiced.
Yeah,
He
yeah.
doesn't sound
I
like.
think that's great.
And he just sounds like some normal dude. You wouldn't think that was John. And then he turns on the Joker voice. Boy
And it's like,
wonder. And then,
oh,
of course,
fuck.
Jason grabs that fork and just jams it right in his fucking eye.
And he's still laughing. Like you see him slowly still go into it, and it's like, holy shit, that's terrifying.
I gotta give John credit, man. He fucking killed it as the Joker, man.
Yeah, I'd love to meet that guy someday. Him
John
and Tom
DiMaggio,
Kenny,
is
but
it?
Tom Kenny is really hard to find.
I
I don't
got
think
to
he
meet
shows up here, huh?
at one of the GMXs. Sadly, they don't exist anymore. Here in Nashville, they used to have a small con called the Geek Media Expo, and at one of them, this was all at the same con. I got to meet Doug, the nostalgia critic. And then I got to meet Yakko Warner. I'm blanking on the actor's name.
Oh,
but
Paul Robertson.
yeah.
Oh, not Paul Robertson. Sorry, Rob Paulson. Excuse me.
Rob Paulson. Thank you.
Yeah. He's Pinky and Raphael and a bunch of people.
He's a lot of stuff.
Yeah, he does great voice work too. So.
Well, he was Donatello in the original.
I thought he was Raphael.
He was Raphael in another one. Like he's been in 2 Turtles series.
Okay, so he's Raphael and Donatello, I believe. Yeah.
And
he did a great job though. I like his voice work too.
Frick, I'm trying to remember the guy that voices Fry in Future.
Billy West.
Billy West.
Yeah,
got to meet him.
I like that guy too.
That was really really cool. So yeah.
He's also the red M&M. So
yeah, he is.
That's cool.
And so is freaking. I love that the fact that the yellow M&M is J.K. Simmons. That's really funny.
I will never get over that. That is a fact that I forget
That's
occasionally.
J.K. Simmons?
Yes.
Yeah.
I've never known that.
The yellow M&M is J.K. Simmons. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
he
hilarious.
does exist.
J. Jonah Jameson. J. Jonah Jameson is the yellow M&M. Yeah.
Yeah.
Bring me pictures of Santa Claus.
The funny thing is the two of them recorded together for several of those commercials. They were in the same. They got in the booth together and recorded together. And it was like, yeah, I got to hang out
My
with Billy
favorite-
West and we had fun. And I'm like, oh, that's cool.
My favorite thing about that commercial is that they never made a remake of that commercial. It's just that, and it's just timeless every time you see it.
It is. It just is.
Yeah. Yeah, the gay guy doesn't
yeah.
exist.
They do exist.
He does exist. They do exist. It's just so simple. It's effective.
So
I love
funny.
it.
Mhm.
But yeah, there's that. You know, it's so crazy what people can do with their voice, but like you got to loosen up your vocal cords, and
Yeah.
you got to
drink
get outside
water.
of water's good for making sure that they don't dry out. But in order
Yeah.
to like loosen up your vocal cords, there's exercises for that and things like that. But
Yep.
also, you have to. I mean,
It would be
if
cool.
you're
to go
if you're
outside.
trying to do character work and stuff in
Yeah.
like animation or just our field of work of parody, and you want to
Mhm.
get a lot of characters done, you kind of have to run around and stretch your voice out, loosen out your vocal cords and just play with them, go outside
Yeah,
of
of
your
course.
normal register. Like
Yeah.
what you guys are hearing right now, that is not my normal. That is not my normal or my natural register. If I
Mhm.
were to speak in my natural register, I'd be softer. This is me projecting and speaking at a higher pitch because I have a big family, and so in order to be heard, I did this. So now everybody thinks this is my natural register for my voice, and it doesn't hurt anymore to talk like this, but after a while I do have to drink water because it
Yeah, it's your
does
streaming voice.
it scratches
pardon.
my vocal cords feel very scratchy and itchy and all that stuff. But
Mhm.
my natural register is actually close to kind of the timbre of Shem's voice.
Oh,
so-
interesting.
Yeah, it's down here and it's much
Mhm.
quieter. So
Uh-huh.
hi.
Uh.
This is me after puberty.
Oh,
So
Oh,
yeah, there
cool.
we go. Yeah.
Yeah, it's that like early morning voice, right?
yeah, but that's just my voice all the time.
Oh no. Oh no. My early morning voice is like worse.
Oh yeah.
I don't
Yeah.
want to talk to anybody. Leave me the fuck alone.
That's fair.
That's almost kind of like Harrison Ford right there. I was like,
Yeah, I was fixing to say.
Hey, who
kid,
shot first, Greedo or Han?
Who
I don't
gives a
care.
fuck? Who gives a fuck? It was like,
He would
yeah,
say
I like
that
the
though.
other one. I like the other one.
I
It was
don't
like,
care.
hey, kid.
Yeah.
If they're paying attention to your hair, we're in a lot of trouble.
That's
They're paying attention
not
to
how
your
the
hair,
Force
we're in a
works.
That's not how the Force works. Chewie, we're home.
Sure.
All right.
Yeah. Where's Harvey then?
No, can
Where's
you
Death
imagine
Star? Huh?
Hulk smash?
I mean, he's gonna be
Red-
spicy Dorito Hulk. So
Red Hulk.
Exactly.
Smash.
I'm curious why they didn't use Red Hulk sooner, but I guess
You
they
know
had
what?
to set it up. So
You know what? Some of the best things that you could do is just say cartoon phrases as Harrison Ford. Yeah.
Adventure
but
time.
do.
Come on, grab your friends. We're going to a very
Hey.
distant lands.
Hey,
Mauzo.
Hey,
I'm
Shem.
drinking the dog and yeah, what? Yeah.
Yabba dabba do.
Fuck. I'm ready.
Yabba dabba do.
I'm ready.
All right. You should probably start reading. Oh, yeah. I should do the whole thing. Ladies and gentlemen, open your books, your holy relic books of Mushoku Tensei to Volume 3, Chapter 1.
Yeah.
Shem, lead us in the word of Rudius.
Oh, okay. Should I
Rudius
start? I mean, Moon is
Rudius
right here too.
Maximus. Yeah, oh no, but we were gonna start before that, but I kept dicking around. It was
okay.
I gave you back your turn because we went by 15 minutes and nobody was here, and I was like, all right, cool.
Oh, okay.
Last but
everyone else?
I don't know.
I think Sonic
Sonic,
may
I think,
still,
is doing his classes. And
yeah, he
Finn,
may
I don't
still
know.
be his
Hopefully
class.
he's okay.
Finn isn't gonna be back. That's
Oh, is he okay?
Busy. He busy.
Oh, okay, he's
Uh,
busy.
big
Okay, I
blood.
thought
Yeah.
something might have happened to him.
No, he's
Yeah,
fine, I
yeah.
think,
He keeps volunteering himself for more work and things. Yeah,
Okay.
that's what happened.
Gotta make that dough though, so I get it.
Yeah, I forget we have to go back and always start at these things. Some things I can easily do, but you can't do at all. And some things you do effortlessly, I could never manage. That's all there is to it. Look, getting a job
Hmm.
is hard, okay? Author,
is
Rudius
hard.
Rayrat. Translation, Jean R.F. Maggot, or Maggot. Maggot!
Oh, yeah. Maggots!
Maggot! All right, anyway.
If God had wanted you to live, he would not have created me. I think that's, yeah.
Mm.
Where is Sandwich? All
What
right,
was
anyway.
that sandwich? Kills them all? Good idea.
I
Yeah.
fucking love that.
Try some more.
Yeah.
I love that you tested. All right, so just really quickly, Moon is on better internet now, and I love that you tested
Yeah.
your internet by playing TF2.
I mean, like, it was the quickest thing I could load into
Listen.
that I wouldn't be stuck
If it wasn't like filled
If
with
you wanted-
bots,
forever.
it's still a
because I
great
know if I
time.
started any other game, I would at least play for 2 hours, and I needed to sleep.
Yeah. That's
Oh
fair.
look! Oh look, he's here.
Hi.
Okay, we can
Welcome back.
finally make the announcement, ladies and gentlemen. If you don't know, here's your Fat Dog update. Data Live is not, or Data Bridged is now live.
Mm-hmm.
Sonic
Last I
speed,
checked,
lagging a bit, huh?
Sonic. Last I checked, it was literally at 2,000 even, but I'm sure it's past that now.
Is he alive?
I mean, he may be muted
Yeah, probably.
because that happens. All right, let me refresh real quick, see where we're at.
Sonic.
Speed.
Reveal
oh
yourself.
no! Hey, oh that's great. We went from 2,000 even to 2,222.
Nah, we can make a wish now. That's
Quad
cool.
twos. Quad twos.
In the side chat, Sonic just says, Mike!
Mike.
Don't you
Don't
you
know
yell
what Mike did, but, you know.
Yeah, I was like, don't you
Yep.
yell at Mike. He's a good guy. Yeah,
That was more of like a
undeserving,
Mike kinda
undeserving of any of your nonsense. All right, to catch the gruesome twosome up real quick.
Okay, there we go.
Yeah,
I had
welcome
the
back.
okay, it was a Discord. I looked at output and not input. Oops.
Yeah.
All right, so to catch the gruesome twosome up real quick.
Holborg.
Cowboys.
We talked
Sure,
we
yeah,
talked
yeah,
about
sure,
we
sure.
talked about Mushoku Tensei and the anime of where Shim is at. He is now halfway
Mhm.
through, officially halfway through, 12 episodes
Yes.
into season 2. So he at least
Awesome.
he at least got to see Rudy and Sylphie do some fucky. So there you go.
Prepare to
Yeah.
cry, Earth
I don't
scum.
think they did anything. They absolutely didn't do. I have like 5
They just
slashes
played
and an
patty
S
cake.
next to my voice. You can't hear it.
The scratches on
I
Rudius's
don't
back
think
would
they did
beg to
anything.
differ.
They just sat and just watched anime. It's fine.
And suddenly
No
there was
big
blood
deal.
on the there was
watched-
blood on the bed somehow. Yeah.
Sylphie,
Oh,
when
Shep,
you're
would you say
watching
they
anime
watched
for
Data
a long
Bridge?
time,
Mhm.
you can cough up blood. It's fine.
Dude, okay. I have to keep chancing. I have to
No, I
keep
can't. I can't finish
checking.
that.
Blood on the dance floor. I have to keep checking what's going on over on our Twitch channel because nobody's left a comment yet, and I'm just like, is nobody here?
Holborg.
Nobody watching us? What's going on, man?
No, they're just
Yeah.
looking.
Okay. We've got too many
Yeah.
lurkers and not enough chatters.
Yeah. I mean,
like
it's
I don't
participation.
like
usually
it when you
well,
press
maybe
race menu. There you
maybe
go.
I can make an account and
I-
just
I deserve
be,
that.
like, leave
I
a
fucking
lurking
deserve that.
comment.
I
Usually when
no.
people
Hey,
see there's comments, people will post
I'm still
comments.
laughing. I'm still laughing at the
favorite
fact
pose
that
in there.
somebody actually commented on Data Bridge, going, "Oh, I wonder what Lord Veldora thinks of this one." And I'm having to break it to them. This is not part of like the Log Horizon or Slime universe, guys. We will make it very explicit if it is part of those universes.
Mm-hmm.
Now they seem to think that every series that we do is all part of like the cinematic universe of like Slime and Log Horizon. I'm like, dude, not everything we put out is in the Slimeverse.
I was tempted to have a joke where it's like, please tell me we're in some kind of simulation, and then one of the other big characters looks at him like, no,
God damn it, Dave.
no, we're not doing that.
No.
God damn it, Cheeto.
I laughed so hard at the idea that we had, with the stupid idea that we had. It was like somebody actually asking about that. It's like, the fuck is
Oh
this
yeah, and
shit?
it's actually Veldora watching the episode, and then he just
No,
moves away from the screen. It moves into the screen. The actual episode 2 plays.
no, it wasn't Veldora. It was literally me as menu. You just see my fucking
Oh yeah,
ugly
well
mug,
it started from Veldora.
and then I go,
Mugla.
the fuck,
That's the comment.
what,
and then, yeah,
what the fuck is this shit? And then I look over, Veldora.
yeah, that's
Oh.
okay. That's where Veldora came in. That's right.
I'm eagerly
I
waiting
pitched
for
that
your
idea. I
bedtime
wrote
story.
that idea
All right.
down. I wrote that idea down. They're like, no, we need more context, or we
right.
shouldn't do it. It's like I just wanted to write that idea down at the very least.
All right, Daxter. I'm not sure if it's gonna be a bedtime story, considering chapter 1 is basically a waking nightmare.
Yeah.
Yeah, because now we have to deal with
Maybe
the
that-
man god. Hitogami.
Maybe that is what lulls him to sleep.
Who's gonna voice the man god?
Whoever's reading, which in this case would be Shim. The
I
rest
thought
of
we
us
were-
get to
So I
listen.
have to put like
No,
maximum slime on my voice.
You've missed a few things. Oh yeah. Hey,
Okay.
this is where
I
you
can do
guys.
it.
This is where you get to do like the little impressions and stuff. Now, if you don't
Yes.
want to voice a character and you like somebody else to, you can recommend that. But typically
Okay.
now we're going back to the readers in charge, unless they want to throw voices out. None of us are doing any voices in a Mushoku Tensei Abridged for Fat Dog Studios. If you voiced in Mushoku Tensei Abridged for Das Tales, that does not count.
Oh.
I'm not.
Oh yeah, there's an official one out there.
There is. I mean,
Yeah.
we know the
Well,
Das Tales.
official,
We love the Das
is it,
Tales.
like- Yeah.
You know.
There's a one that's out there that's established, I should say.
Yep. We know the Das Tales. We love the Das Tales. He voices for us. He is our Gabiru in Slime, and
Yes.
our
Tails, woo.
God damn it! I knew somebody was going to say that.
Everybody thinking
Stop.
about those Das Tales.
Yeah, make sure to record that and
Ooh.
send it to him. I'm sure he's never heard that before. Anyhow, he is also Kazuma in our Konosuba one shot coming up very soon. Speaking
Radical.
of Konosuba, speaking
In
of
which case,
Konosuba,
I would like to ride up to him and just go, Kazuma, Kazuma. Yes, I am Kazuma.
hi, Kazuma des. I'm going to do that. I'm going to run up.
That
to
is
him
one
and
of
be
my
like,
favorite
Kazuma,
running gags
Kazuma.
on that show.
And he's like, he just looks over. What? And I'm like, you did it wrong. You're supposed to be like, hi, Kazuma des.
Hi, Cosmodus. Yeah.
Hi, Kazuma
Hey,
des.
Kazuma. Des.
Yeah.
Hi, Kazuma des. I'm gonna do that to him one time and just be like, Kazuma, Kazuma. And
Make
like,
sure he's
"Hi,
on this
Kazuma-san,
Yes.
Kazuma-san.
Kazuma-san,
Hey, Kazuma des.
Kazuma-san, Kazuma-san.
I still didn't
Hi,
watch
Kazuma
Konosuba
des."
season
Hey,
3.
Cosmodus.
Fuck. I forgot about
Yeah,
that.
I haven't.
God,
I
I
don't
love
even know
that.
if I've seen season 2, my dude.
Season
So-
2 is really funny, and the movie.
It is.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
fucking
So
loved it.
anyway, anyhow,
Tommy.
let's see. That reminds me, if you are on the production server, which means you are one of our top 3 tiers, you are on the production server, you're either a backer,
a lot
a
of water.
producer, or an executive producer. But I think it's like maximum overdog and executive producer. I don't know I can't remember what they're called on Patreon. But basically the $25 and up tiers. I posted some information about Konosuba and some updates, and basically I fully announced the cast of Konosuba Bridge for just those tiers. So if you were there, you were on the server, you get that sweet info. So hope everybody enjoys that. I will be finding a scene somewhere in Konosuba to show at some point, but we're gonna hold off on that until we finish the pickups. We've got 3 we're on the 3rd draft of the video, and I'm just getting like pickups and stuff to put in there, and then the 4th draft is just gonna be us putting the final little pickups and vocal touches in there to make sure everything's timed out, and then we immediately move over to the audio side of things, which means we're gonna clean up all the audio, we're gonna do the sound balancing and the mixing, and then we'll start putting sound effects and things like that in. It's gonna be a fun, wacky time. Yeah. All right, so that's where we're at. If you want to become a patron, There should be a link coming up soon saying something about our Patreon. We would really appreciate it. We have tiers as low as $1 a month. Every little bit helps. Thank you so much. For just $1 a month, you can feed a starving you can feed a starving worker in Fat Dog Studios. Please help. Please help.
We exerted all our, we expended all of
nice.
our food just to get this latest episode of Data Bridge out, or the first episode.
I was born with glass bones and paper skin.
We need to. Oh, Lord knows we're gonna need more
Okay.
food, like money
Hold
for
on.
food if we're
I
gonna.
don't know if
feed
it heard me
Tuca.
the first time.
Calm
In
down,
the
Mr. Glass.
arms
Oh, man, that commercial.
of
We need to buy a
angels.
bunch of Kitako bread for Toka in the next episode.
Yeah.
We're not trying to make a sad puppy video. God damn it.
Toka
can be in
is
front of my-
adorable like a puppy. You know
I
what?
can be in front of my sound booth and look really sad.
Singing "In the Arms of an Angel" by Sarah McLachlan is used on every fucking sad dog commercial.
Yeah,
I-
it makes me
yeah.
sad.
I
It
want.
played on
Moon
Cartoon
to
Network late
see-
at night too, so I was like, why?
Oh yeah.
I'm watching Adult
I-
Swim. Why do I want to be sad?
I don't know why. I'd
I'd take
to sing that.
the timeless love
I
songs
was just
commercial
sitting
because
here
that one's at
watching
least cool.
BoJack Horseman, and you fuckers made me cry.
I
You guys
want
aren't
so
familiar with
bad
the
to watch
God,
Moon
dude,
sing that song,
and you
and it's
are
just
my
Shem in his
man.
booth, like the sad
Yeah.
puppy dog eyes, and then Richie does the whole
I have to look really
script
disheveled,
for-
too.
We'll never get through this if we don't let Shim read.
Anyways, I have water too. It's great.
Hey, same. I got water.
My favorite drink.
Water.
What are
Wow.
you
Keeps you
doing?
alive.
God damn
It's
it, you
fucking
beat
great.
me.
All right. All right. It's everywhere.
Gig.
Oh yeah. Sorry. I was trying to
I should
find
probably
the
pull up the
spot.
book.
Shim got wet for us.
Yes.
Mm.
My throat.
I mean, something had to
I
get it
mean-
wet. That sex scene sure didn't.
Moist.
Yeah.
Oh, that. Okay, Moon.
Hmm?
I want you to take a look at the script when you get a chance.
Oh. Yeah.
Yeah.
Script.
I'm five
Okay.
scenes. I'm 5 scenes in, and I'm probably going to change where the opening kicks because I think it's.
Oh yeah, I know what you're talking
Alright.
about. You showed me earlier.
Yeah. Oh yeah. So yeah.
All right. So, chapter 1. The con artist who claimed to be a god. I was
Soul-
dreaming. Solka.
Oh, I did put it in the correct.
Goblin Theodis. Sorry. In this dream.
Goblin
Cosmodus.
Theodis.
Yes.
Sorry. I'm sorry. Did somebody say goblins?
Yeah.
Sorry. Yeah. Had to. I
He
had
said
to.
the thing.
He said the thing. Yep, I did.
He did say the thing.
What was I doing? I don't even remember anymore.
Oh.
Holy
I don't know.
fucking
Looking at
shit.
Streaming.
script.
What?
Streaming.
It says 1,000
Ah.
years since her last sushi. That time I read that reincarnation. Did they just
What?
spoil something major?
Did it?
Did it?
I think Crunchyroll just spoiled something kind of major for slime.
Wow. That sucks.
Oh wow.
fucking
Oh yep.
sucks. Well, I mean, yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Wow. Wow. Crunchyroll. Not cool.
Not cool, guys. If true, not cool. Anyhow.
Yes.
Big if true.
Fat
Why do we even
APS.
get a subscription? You're just gonna tell me while the episode ends anyway.
Ugh.
All right. Well, let's continue.
Okay. In this dream, I was soaring through the air, holding Eris in my arms. My mind was hazy, but somehow I knew that I was flying. The world around me was a constantly changing blur of shapes and colors. I rocketed through the air like a sound wave or particle of light, my body randomly bouncing in different directions. I didn't know why this was happening, but I was certain of one thing. No matter what I tried, I was going to lose speed eventually and plunge into the ground. So I concentrated. I looked at the ever-shifting scenery below us, trying to find a relatively safe place to land. Why did I feel the need to do this? Good question. Something inside me was just screaming that I had to if I wanted to survive. Still, we were going way too fast. It was like staring into the reels of a slot machine, except everything was moving much, much faster. Focusing more intently, I gathered magical energy into my eyes, and just for a moment, we suddenly slowed down. Oh crap, I'm gonna fall. Panic welled in my chest, but I could see now that the land, or see now see the land below me clearly. I needed to find a field. Falling into the sea or smashing into a mountain wouldn't be good. Forests were obviously dangerous, but if I managed to aim for a field, I forced myself downward, hoping for the best. Our velocity slowed rapidly as I plunged towards a reddish-brown stretch of earth. An instant later, I lost consciousness. When I opened my eyes, I found myself in a pure white void. I immediately knew this wasn't real. It had to be some sort of lucid dream, yet, for some reason, my body felt oddly heavy. Uh-huh. I looked down at myself, and my eyes went wide. I was back in the old familiar form I'd spent 34 years in. At the sight of it, memories of my previous life came flooding back. I was the same bitter, vile, insecure, and selfish piece of trash I'd always been. The 10 years I spent as Rudy suddenly felt like nothing more than a dream. A crushing wave of disappointment washed over me. I reverted to my pathetic former self, and I found that fact all too easy to accept. So it really was just a dream, huh? As dreams go, it lasted an awfully long time, but at the end of the day, it was too good to be true. I've been born into a loving family and managed to get friendly with some very cute girls. Not a bad 10 years by any means. I'd wanted to enjoy that life a little more, though. Oh, guess it's over now. I could feel the memories of my time as Rudius beginning to fade. Once you've woken up, even the best of dreams melt away in no time. Had I really expected anything different? Please. A smooth, happy life like that was never in the cards for a guy like me. Eventually, I noticed that a weirdo had appeared in front of me. The individual in question had a blank white face marked only by a big, wide grin. Maybe blank wasn't the right word, I just couldn't make out any distinguishing features. When I looked at any specific part of that face, it slipped instantly out of my memory. My mind refused to form an image of the larger whole. It almost felt as if this person was being blurred out by a pixelated mosaic. Still, I somehow sensed that I was dealing with someone calm and patient. Hey there. Nice to meet you, Rudius. Hmm. I've been so busy feeling sorry for myself, and now I had some weird censored porno guy chatting me up. Actually, that voice is pretty ambiguous. Could be a guy or girl. Let's go with girl. That would make the pixelated thing feel kind of sexy, right? Uh, great. Hello? Can you hear me? Oh, yeah, sure. Hi there. Nice to meet you. Excellent. Nice to see that you're so polite. Huh? He is a pixelated porn guy. The way he's doing the weird wiggle things. I never liked that. That was like the one thing that I never liked. I was like, why are you doing that? Why are you moving like that? I do not like that. Stop. Stop. Stop.
Hello there.
They
Yeah.
did a really good job of making the man god look like a creepy,
Yeah. Well, because he
like,
looks like the yogurt man. Like every
like,
time I see him, I don't know if you've seen the commercial, but there's like a yogurt guy. I don't know if you guys know what that is, but there's like a
No.
Japanese
He's like
yogurt guy
Pepsi.
who's like eating
no.
yogurt off himself. And it's
Oh
really
yeah, no,
weird.
I have seen that.
And he's
Oh,
really
Um,
weird.
no,
But
I've
every time I
not.
see him,
But
I think of the yogurt guy. I'm like, yeah, I don't like that.
No, but he
now that I
absolutely gives off the vibe of like Uncle Happy's Tickle Dungeon.
Yeah, I don't like it. I don't like it. I don't like it. Okay.
now that I think about it, it kind of like he's not buff like Pepsi Man, but it's like he has kind of that silhouette with like faceless almost. There's just
Yeah,
no
well, Pepsi
color.
Man
He's
looks
just a little
safer because he
blurry.
has no face. And he's buff guy who just wants you to drink Pepsi. And he has the cool theme song, so
Just
Oh
imagine if Man God
God.
was Pepsi Man. It's just like, here's a Pepsi. You
Yeah.
seem like you're
no,
down.
Pepsi Man is a friend, is shaped like a friend, and he is a friend. This guy is not shaped like a friend.
This
No,
these two are
absolutely
not
not.
the same.
Yeah. Oh yeah, sure. Hi there. Nice to meet you. Excellent. Nice to see you so polite. I didn't actually speak out loud, but it seems like my friend here heard my thoughts just fine. Might as well keep communicating this way. Wow, nothing phases you, does it? That's not true at all. Don't be so modest. So, anyway, you're who or what exactly? Can't you see that much for yourself? I can't see much of anything with that mosaic. Are you the mighty Spur Man or something? The mighty Spur Man? Who's that? Does he look like me? Oh, totally. He's a big, blurry mess of pixels, just like you. So there's someone like me in your world too. Well, no, not really. What? Okay, let's just move on. I'm a god. The man god, specifically. Uh huh. The man god.
Right. You don't sound too impressed, I have to say. Just wondering why a god would be wasting time chatting with me, I guess. Isn't it a little too late for you to be showing up anyway? The god's supposed to make his appearance way back in chapter 1, right? Or in the first chapter, right? The first chapter? What do you mean? Never mind, it's nothing. Please, go right on ahead. All right. Anyway, I've been keeping an eye on you for some time now. You've been living quite the interesting life. Peeping always lots of fun, isn't it? Oh, it's been a joy, and that's why I decided to take care of you. You're taking care of me? Gee, thanks. Talk about condescending. What am I, your pet? Come now, there's no need to be so hostile. I'm only talking to you because I saw you were in some real trouble. Well, that's a red flag. Anyone who pops up offering to fix all your problems when you're struggling is a con man. No, no, I'm on your side, friend. Ha! Now we're friends. Don't make me laugh. Met a few people like you in my old life, buddy. People who slithered up to me and said, just try your best, or I'll look out for you. They're all liars. They didn't really give a damn. They assumed everything would automatically work out once they lured me out of my room. None of them understood the source of the problem. Everything you say reminds me of them. I'll never trust you. Goodness, that's a problem. Why don't I offer you a little advice then? Advice, huh? That's right. Feel free to ignore it completely if you want. Right, got it. So that's your angle. I had plenty of that last time as well. People loved giving me advice, thought they could feed me a bunch of feel-good, self-help crap and get me focused on something other than my own misery. Seriously, talk about missing the point. What good is positive thinking going to do to me now? Or what good is positive thinking going to do me now? I'm way past the stage where my emotional state's going to make a difference. Getting optimistic only sets me up for more pain down the line. I mean, this right here is case in point. Why even let me dream, damn it? Alternate reality my ass. I got all into this second chance at life. Then you just pull the carpet out from under me? Did you have to be so damn sadistic? Wait a second. I think you're misunderstanding things. I want to help you with your current life, not your old one. Hmm? Why do I look like this then? That's your astral form. It's distinct from your actual body. My astral form? Right. You're perfectly fine physically, of course. So this is only a dream? When I wake up, I won't find myself back in this crappy body? Exactly. Since you're dreaming at the moment, you'll be back to normal once you wake up. Feel better now. Whew, okay. So this is all just some weird dream. Well, it's not just a dream. I'm speaking directly into your mind right now. Hard to believe your mental image of yourself is so different from your body. Telepathy, huh? Well, alright. What do you actually want with me? Do you plan to send me back to my old world, since I don't belong here or whatever? Don't be ridiculous! I couldn't send you anywhere outside the six-faced world, obviously. Hmm. Maybe that's obvious to you, but I'm totally in the dark here. A very reasonable point. Wait a minute, though. If you can't send me back, you can't be the one who reincarnated me into this world, right? True. Reincarnation isn't really my department anyway. That's the specialty of a certain wicked dragon god. An evil dragon too, huh? Anyway, do you want my advice or not? No thanks. Huh? Why not? I don't know what's going on here, but you're obviously a shady character. That means I'm better off ignoring you completely. Oh, do I really seem that shady? Oh, hell yeah. You couldn't act more like a con man if you tried. Reminds me of those scammers I used to run into in playing MMOs. The instant you let yourself get into a conversation, they were already messing with your head. I'm not a con man. I won't even ask you to follow my advice, okay? That's just another part of your strategy. Come on, trust me. You're awfully whiny for a deity. Look, it's not like I even worship you, whoever you are. The only god I care about is the one who actually made the miracle of my reincarnation happen. Why would I trust some other guy who pops into my head and says all sorts of weird crap? Oh, and people who talk about trust are always liars. Words of Freedom from one of my favorite books. Come on, don't be so stubborn. Just give me one little chance. Now you sound like a loser ex-boyfriend trying to get back with a girl who dumped him. Look, buddy, how many prayers do you think I said in my former life? You never came to the rescue back then, not even once. Right up until the day I died. Why offer me advice now? I'm not from your old world, remember? I'm a god of this world, and I'm saying that I'll help you out from now on. Right, and I'm saying I can't trust you. Talk is cheap. If you want me to believe you, show me a miracle or something. This doesn't count as a miracle. How many people do you know can communicate with you through your dreams? What's so special about a little communication? Anybody can do that. Just write a letter or whatever. Well, true enough, but is that really a good reason for you to ignore me? At this rate, you're going to die. I am? But why? The demon continent is a rather harsh place. For one, there isn't much of anything to eat. For another, it's absolutely swarming with monsters, especially compared to the central continent. And I know you can speak the language, but things work rather differently here. Are you really confident you can survive? The demon continent? What? Hold on. You mean that huge lump of land way out in the edge of the world? Why would I be way the heck out there? You got caught up in a huge magical disaster. You ended up being teleported here. A magical disaster? Are you talking about that light I saw? That's right. So, that was some sort of teleportation spell. Hmm. Wait. I'm not the only one who got hit by that thing. I wonder if everyone else back at Fitoa is alright. Buena Village is pretty far away from Roa, so it's probably fine. But I'm still worried about my family. You have any insight on that, buddy? Would you really believe my answer either way? You don't even want to listen to my advice. Good point. You probably just lie for the fun of it. All I'm going to say is that everyone's praying for your safety. They all want you to make it back alive. Well, sure, of course they would. You really believe that? Isn't there a part of you that thinks they might glad to it, or I think there's a typo. They might be glad to have seen the last of you. Yeah, I'd be lying if I said the thought hadn't crossed my mind. By the end of my last life, nobody cared if I lived or died. And I've got some self-esteem issues stemming from that. Well, people care about you in this world. You'd better make it back to them in one piece. Yeah, you're right. I won't make any guarantees, but I think you'll stand a very good chance of getting back alive if you do follow my advice. Wait, before we get to that, I want to know why you're doing this. Why do you care so much about me? Heavens, you're persistent. I just think things will be more fun if you stay alive, okay? Is that not good enough? People who only care about having fun tend to be total scumbags, you know? Is that how things were in your last life? Pretty much. I know a few guys like that, and they all loved making other people dance like puppets for their own amusement. Well, I do enjoy a bit of puppetry now and again. I can't deny that. Then what could possibly be so fun about watching me anyway? Maybe that wasn't the right choice of words. You're very interesting, that's all. I hardly ever get the chance to see someone from an entirely different world. I'd like to help you meet all sorts of people and see what comes of it. Great. So I'm the pet monkey, and you're giving me some vague instructions to see if I can reach my goal. That sound about right? Look here. You haven't forgotten my original question, have you? What original question? Let me repeat myself then. Are you confident you can survive here? Stranded in a dangerous, unfamiliar land? No, not really. Then maybe you'd be better off hearing me out. Like I said before, it's up to you if you want to follow my suggestions. All right, fine, I get it. Go ahead. Give me advice if you really want to. What was the point of this whole long-winded conversation anyway? You could have just told me what to do and saved us both a headache. Yes, yes. Now, listen carefully, young Rudius. Soon after you awake, you'll see a man. Rely on him, and do what you can to help him. As these brief and final words echoed through the void, the blurred-out god abruptly disappeared. Chapter 2. The Spurred. When I woke up, it was already night. A black sky full of stars stretched above me. Shadows cast by a flame danced across the ground. I could hear the crackling of burning wood. It seemed I was sleeping next to a bonfire, although I didn't remember making one or even setting off on a camping trip. The last thing I did remember was the sky abruptly changing colors and a wave of white light sweeping over us. Oh, and then there was the dream. Or was that dream? Not a very pleasant one. Yeah! A jolt of fear ran through me as I looked down at my body. Unfortunately, it wasn't the slow, useless lump of flesh I used to inhabit. I was back on the young but strong form of Rudius. Seeing that, my memories of the past began fading slightly, and a wave of pure relief washed over me. To hell with that man god. For a minute there, I'd felt like I was back in the bad old days. Seemed like I was going to get a bit more time in this world after all. Thank goodness. I had a ton of things I still wanted to do here, like cast aside my wizard status for one thing. When I sat up, my back hurt. I'd been laid out on the bare ground. My immediate surroundings were a stretch of dry, cracked earth. From what I could see, there was barely any vegetation at all. Were there even no insects? I heard nothing except the sound of the fire. It really was quiet out here. I felt like any noise I made would be swallowed up by the total silence of the night. I couldn't remember having been in a place anything like this before. The kingdom of Asura was covered in grasslands and forests, after all. Had that wave of white light done this? No, no. According to the man god, I'd been teleported. This was the demon continent, presumably. A completely new and unfamiliar land. Somehow that light had sent me. Wait, what about Ghislaine and Eris? My first instinct was to jump to my feet and start looking for them, but just as I began moving, I noticed a girl sleeping on the ground behind me, one hand clutching at my shirt. Her vivid red hair was unmistakable. It was Eris. Eris Boreas Greyrat, the girl I'd been tutoring back in Fatoa. I'll skip the background story for now, but I'd been teaching her reading and arithmetic for 3 solid years at this point. She'd been a force of nature at first, spoiled, violent, and totally out of control. But I'd managed to navigate through some tricky events, such as rescuing her from would-be kidnappers and teaching her to dance before a birthday party. Eventually, I earned her respect and trust. Of course, she still punched and kicked me on a daily basis, but that was just the way she was. For some reason, Eris had some sort of cloak draped over her. I'd just been laid out in my clothes, but, oh well, the principle of ladies first probably applied here. My staff, Aqua Hartia, was also lying on the ground behind her. Eris had given it to me as a birthday present on my 10th birthday only a few days ago. In any case, she didn't have any obvious external injuries. That was a relief. Where's Ghislaine, though? Ghislaine Dodolia was both our swordplay instructor and Eris's personal bodyguard. She was a fearsomely skilled beastwoman who had been teaching me the basics of her style in exchange for rudimentary education. The woman's brain was allegedly made of muscle, and she was definitely lagging behind Eris in her studies. But in an emergency like this, she'd be far more useful than the likes of me. It was possible she made the fire and put that cloak over Eris. I turned away from my sleeping student and started looking for my master. Right away, I spotted someone sitting near the fire, whom I hadn't noticed before. But it wasn't Ghislaine. It was a man. He was staring at me, still and silent, as if to size me up. I froze like a rabbit under a predator's glare. Despite my shock, I tried my best to study the man calmly. He didn't seem to be wary of us. If anything, it was more like, how can I put this? Something about his body language reminded me of the way my sister used to slowly, timidly approach a cat she wanted to pet. Was he worried about frightening these children he'd stumbled across? That seemed to indicate he wasn't hostile. But just as I was breathing a sigh of relief, my mind picked up on a few alarming details. His hair was emerald green, his skin porcelain white, and he had something like a red jewel embedded in his forehead. There was also a long scar running across his face. His eyes were sharp, his features stern. Even at a glance, he looked like a dangerous man. Just to drive the point home, there was a 3-pronged spear lying by his side. When I was very young, I'd been tutored in magic by a girl named Roxy who taught me many valuable, life-changing things. One of the things she taught me concerned a certain race of demons, the Spurred. I remembered her words perfectly, even now. Don't talk to the Spurred. Don't go anywhere near them. I wanted to spring to my feet, grab Eris, and start running wildly, but I managed to suppress that urge at the last moment. The man god's advice had popped into my head. Rely on him, and do what you can to help him. I had absolutely no reason to trust that self-styled deity, of course. Everything he had said to me set off alarm bells, and now he'd left me here with this incredibly suspicious character. How could I trust him? This guy was a Spurred, for crying out loud. Roxy had explained in great detail just how terrifying and violent they were. Maybe some sort of god wanted me to help him out. Okay, fine, but who was I going to trust here? Some shady character I met in a dream, or my beloved master Roxy? Roxy, obviously. The question wasn't even worth thinking about, which meant I should be running away now. But then again, maybe that was why the advice was necessary in the first place. If it weren't for that dream, I probably would have fled immediately. But even if I did manage to get away somehow, what would my next move be? I glanced at our surroundings for a second time. It was dark. Everything was completely unfamiliar, and the cracked earth around me was covered in jagged rocks. If I took the man god at his word, this was the demon continent. That would mean I was a long way away from home. Come to think of it, I'd had another odd dream earlier, although I'd almost forgotten it after that memorable chat with the man god. been flying across this world at a ferocious speed. I swept past tall mountains, open seas, thick forests, and deep valleys. Many places where I could have actually died. Maybe that hadn't been a dream. Maybe I really had been teleported. The demon continent thing seemed increasingly plausible. And of course, I didn't know where on the continent I was. If I ran off now, I'd be wandering aimlessly in the middle of a massive foreign land. In the end, I didn't have much of a choice. Even if Eris and I could get away from this man, we'd just end up hopelessly stranded in the middle of nowhere. Of course, there was always a chance that we'd find a village nearby when the sun came up, but was it worth gambling everything on that? No, of course not. I knew perfectly well how tough it was to find your way in unfamiliar country. Calm down, man, calm down. Deep breaths. You don't trust the man god. Fine. But what about this guy? Look at him carefully. Look at the expression on his face. He's anxious. Anxious and a little resigned. He's not some inhuman monster incapable of motion, okay? Roxy had told me to steer clear of the Spurd, but she never actually met one herself. I learned all about prejudice and discrimination in my old world, and I knew how witch hunts happened. The Spurd were feared, but maybe they were just misunderstood. Roxy surely hadn't meant to lie to me, but there was a chance she had the wrong idea. My intuition told me this guy wasn't going to hurt us. He didn't look nearly as shady or malicious as the man god. Rather than Roxy's warning or the man god's advice, I decided to trust my own instincts. I didn't hate or fear this guy at first glance. His appearance was just a little intimidating. In that case, it wouldn't hurt to talk. I'd make up my mind based on how that went. Excuse me. Hello there, I called to him. After a brief pause, he responded with a brief, hello. So far, so good. What's next? Are you a servant of God or something? The man tilted his head in puzzlement. I'm not sure what you mean by that. But I found you two here after you fell from the sky. I know human children were delicate, so I made this fire to keep you warm. No mention of my faceless friend, huh? Was this guy not in on the divine plan? Based on what the man god said about his motives, maybe watching me was the only half the fun. Seeing how other people reacted to me was probably just as interesting. In that case, this man really might be trustworthy. That was very kind of you. Thank you for helping us. Are you blind, boy? Now, that was a peculiar question. What? No, my vision's perfectly, actually. Or perfect, actually. Did your parents not teach you about the Spurd, then? My parents didn't, but my master did warn me to stay away from them at all costs. The man paused again, then spoke more slowly and carefully than before. You're disregarding your master's words, you know. The unspoken question, of course, was, I'm a Spurd. Are you really okay with that? The man seemed surprisingly insecure. Aren't you afraid of me? Not afraid, no, but I am a little suspicious of you. There was no need to say that out loud, of course. I think it would be impolite to fear a man who just helped me. You say the strangest things, child. There was a look of genuine bewilderment on his face now. I didn't think I'd said anything particularly odd, but maybe the spirit took it for granted that everyone would run screaming at the sight of them. I learned a bit about the Laplace War, the 400-year conflict between humanity and demon kind that ended only a century ago. I knew that the spirit had been shunned ever since it came to an end. The world was slowly shedding its prejudices against other types of demons, but the spirit were definitely a special case. Every other race seemed to loathe them as passionately as the Japanese people hated American soldiers during World War II. They were portrayed as something close to the embodiment of pure evil. Without my knowledge of racism from my old life, I probably would have shrieked in terror at the sight of one. The man said nothing. He tossed a twig into the fire and it popped loudly. Eris moaned at the sound and began stirring. She seemed on the edge of consciousness. Wait, that's not good. She's definitely going to make a scene. I should at least introduce myself before things get totally chaotic. I'm Rudius Greyrat. What's your name, sir? Regard Spurdia. Spurdia was presumably the common last name used by all Spurds. That was how things typically worked on the demonic peoples. For the most part, only humans took family names, although there were a few eccentric exceptions among the other races. Likewise, Roxy's last name was Migurdia. According to the Dictionary of Demonkind she sent me during my stint as Eris's tutor. Well, Regard, I think this young lady is going to wake up soon. She can be very noisy at times, I'm afraid. Let me apologize in advance. No need for that. I'm used to it. Given her aggressive approach to life, there was a real risk Eris might take a swing at Ruijerd the instant she laid eyes on him. We needed to have a quick conversation while we had the chance. Hopefully that would keep things from getting too hostile later on. Pardon me, I'm going to move a little closer. With a glance at Eris to make sure she wasn't waking up just yet, I scooted around the fire and settled down next to Reejard. Up close, I could make out his clothes in a faint, flickering light. His embroidered vest and trousers seemed like some type of tribal garb, the sort of thing an indigenous person might have worn. Reejard seemed more uncomfortable than anything else, but honestly, this was much less off-putting than the man god's brand of pushy friendliness. I said, not to change the subject, but, where are we at the moment? The Begoya region, in the northeast of the Demon Continent. We're not far from the old Kishirisu Castle. Oh, I see. I'd seen Kishirisu Castle on the map once. It was a long, long way from Asura. Why did we land all the way out here, I wonder? If you two don't know, I certainly wouldn't. Yeah, I suppose not. I guess strange things can happen when you're in a world with dragons and magic, but it didn't seem like a coincidence that we'd run into a major character like Perugius's lieutenant right before this happened. For that matter, it could be that the man god had played some part in things as well. We've been caught up in this by sheer coincidence. It was a miracle we were even alive. Well, in any case, I'm very grateful that you helped us. There's no need for gratitude. Just tell me where you hail from. We're from the Kingdom of Asura on the central continent, the city of Ro and the Fitoa region specifically. Asura? That's certainly a far-off land. It certainly is. Not to worry, though. I'll see you back there safe and sound. Northeast of the Demon Continent was on the opposite side of the map from Asura. In sheer distance, it was comparable to a trip from Paris to Las Vegas. And in this world, of course, you couldn't just hop on an airplane. Even sea travel was only possible on specific routes, so any intercontinental journey required lengthy detours over land. Do you have any idea what may have happened, boy? Well, the sky started glowing all of a sudden, and someone who called himself, Monfi the Radiant showed up and told us he'd come to stop some sort of abnormality. We were still talking to him when this wave of bright white light hit us. Next thing I knew, I was waking up here. Oh, Monfi. So Perugius got involved. The situation might have been truly grave then. You're lucky you were merely teleported. True enough, if that had been some sort of explosion, we'd both be dead. I noticed Reejard hadn't seemed too surprised by the whole Perugius thing. Maybe it wasn't that unusual for a legendary hero to show up every now and again. By the way, Reejard, have you heard of a man god? Man god? That doesn't seem familiar. Is that someone's name? Never mind, it's not really important. It didn't feel like he was lying to me, and I couldn't imagine why I'd feel the need to. In any case, in any case, the Kingdom of Asura, is it? It's all right. I wouldn't ask you to take us all that way. If you could just escort us to the nearest town, I think we... No. Spared warrior never goes back on his word. Reader's words were firm, his voice full of stubborn pride. It was enough to make me want to trust him, even putting aside the man god's advice. Right now, however, I needed to stay skeptical. But we're talking about a journey to the other side of the world. Don't worry yourself about that, child. Excuse me. Don't worry about yourself about that, child. With that, the man reached out and timidly patted me on the head. I saw relief on his face when I didn't jerk away from his hand. Was this guy just fond of children, maybe? Still, we weren't talking about a 10-minute stroll back home here. I couldn't exactly take his promises at face value right now. Excuse me. Think of it this way, the man said. Do you know the language here? Do you have any money? Do you know the roads? Oh, huh. Hadn't even occurred to me until now, but I've been speaking in the human tongue this whole time, and this demon man was responding fluently. Interesting. I can speak demon god, actually, and I'm a competent magician, so I can earn money for myself. If you take us into town, I'll find out where we need to go. I wanted to steer clear of this conversation toward a polite refusal if possible. Weezer himself might be trustworthy, but I didn't like the idea of things playing out exactly as the man god wanted. And my cautious words hurt him, the man didn't let it show. I see. At least allow me to protect you, then. Banning such young children would blemish the honor of the Spurred. Well, I wouldn't want to disgrace such proud people. Not to worry. We've already taken care of that ourselves. I chuckled a little, and Ruijard's lips curved upward slightly. Unlike the man god's hollow, disturbing grin, there was some genuine warmth behind his smile. In any case, I'll take you to the village where I'm staying tomorrow morning. All right. I didn't trust that so-called god further than I could throw him, but this man was different. It couldn't hurt to give him a chance, until we reached that village at least. A little while later, Eris's eyes snapped open. Sitting upright, she looked around the area, her expression increasingly anxious. After a moment, her eyes met mine. I saw relief flash across her face. An instant later, she noticed the man sitting next to me. Ah! Shrieking like a banshee, Eris tumbled backwards and then tried to get up and run. But her legs gave out from under her and she collapsed onto the ground. No! The girl was in a state of total blind panic, but she wasn't just thrashing around violently or even trying to crawl away. She just lay where she'd fallen, trembling in terror, wailing at the top of her lungs. No, 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 no! Please! Please, no! Ghislaine! Ghislaine, help me! Ghislaine! Why aren't you coming? No! I don't want to die. I don't want to die. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, Rudius. I'm sorry. I pushed you away. I'm such a coward. Now I'll never get to keep my promise. After carrying on for quite a while, the girl finally curled up into a ball and began bawling incoherently, just like me. Just watching her sent a cold shiver down her spine or down my spine. I can't believe how terrified she is. Whatever else you could say about her, Eris was a strong-willed, confident girl. As far as she was concerned, the world was hers for the taking. She always tried to bulldoze through every obstacle in her path. As a general rule, the girl threw punches first and talked later. Had I gotten the wrong idea here, maybe? Was running into a spur literally a matter of life and death? A bit unsettled, I glanced over at Reedjerd. That's a more typical reaction, he said. You can't be serious. Sorry, that's a more typical reaction, he said. You can't be serious. So, I'm the one hold on. So, I'm the one who's behaving oddly here? Yes, you're acting rather strangely. However, I can't say that I mind. The man's face was a picture of loneliness. I felt a stab of genuine sympathy. I got to my feet and walked to my cowering pupil. Eris twitched in fear as my footsteps drew closer. I squatted down next to her and began gently rubbing her back. It brought back memories from a different life, of a time when my grandma had comforted me in the exact same way. Come on, it's okay. There's nothing to be afraid of. Of course there is! That man, it's a spurd! I still didn't entirely understand why she was so terrified, honestly. I mean, this was Eris, the girl who'd fearlessly attacked Ghislaine, an actual Sword King. I thought she wasn't afraid of anything. What's so scary about him, though? He's a spurd, stupid! They eat children while they're still alive! I don't think that's true. I turned back to Reedjerd for confirmation, and he nodded gamely. We don't eat children, no. Yeah, didn't really think so. You hear that, Eris? But they're demons! Demons! Yes, that's true, but he speaks human just fine, fortunately. Look, that's not the point, okay? Jerking her head up off the ground, Eris looked up at me with fire in her eyes. Much better. Now that's the Eris we know and love. You sure you want to stick your head up like that? Maybe he won't eat you if you stay curled up on the ground. Stop making fun of me! Clearly infuriated by my teasing, Eris shot me another glare, then whipped her head around to do the same to Reedjerd, at which point she started trembling again. Were those actual tears in her eyes? Good thing she wasn't standing up with her legs spread wise, the way she usually did. Her knees would probably be shaking like crazy. Nice to meet you, sir. I'm Eris Boreas Greyrat. Despite it all, the girl still managed to sputter out a polite greeting. It was a little comical, especially coming right out after she glared daggers at him. Come to think of it, though, taking the initiative to introduce yourself was never a bad idea while you're speaking to a stranger. Someone had taught me that a long time ago. Eris Boreas Greyrat, is it? You humans have taken to giving yourself some peculiar names of late, it seems. No! It's Eris Boreas Greyrat. I just stuttered a little, that's all. Look, how about you introduce yourself, huh? An instant later, she'd finished shouting at him. Eris's face went a little pale. Seemed like she'd forgotten who she was talking to for a second there. Oh, of course. My apologies. I'm Reedjerd Sperdia. When Reedjerd responded calmly, an expression of relief flashed across Eris's face, then quickly gave way to a confident, cocky grin. It seemed she had retroactively decided she wasn't scared of him one bit. See? He's not so bad. You can make friends with anyone so long as you can communicate with them. Yep, you're right, Rudius. Honestly, Mother's such a silly liar. So she'd heard about the spirit from Hilda then? I was a bit curious about the stories she'd been told. They must have been pretty awful. Eris's reaction was relatively understandable. I probably would have freaked out more than a little if I ran into a Teke or a Namahage in real life after all. what did Miss Hilda tell you about the Spurd? She always said they'd come to eat me unless I went to bed on time. So they were the classic bedtime boogeyman in this world, huh? Kind of like the put-away man back in Japan. Well, this Spurd doesn't seem interested in eating us. We could brag about making friends with him once we make it back home, all right? Or make it back home, right? Uh, oh, do you think Grandfather and Ghislaine would be impressed? Of course. I glanced over at Ruijerd. There was an expression of mild surprise on his face. So far, so good. You know, I think Ruijerd's actually a bit of a loner. He'd probably agree to be your friend right away if you asked him. But I did feel like I'd put the matter in pretty childish terms, but Eris looked a bit hesitant. Come to think of it, she didn't really have any friends herself, did she? I was probably slightly outside that category for her. No wonder she'd feel bashful then. That girl just needed a little push. Isn't that right, Ruijerd? Hmm. Of course, I would very much appreciate it, Eris. It took the man a moment, but he took his cue eventually. Well, if you insist, I suppose I'll be your friend. God, he looks so done with shit. He looks so fucking irritated.
It's more of the, oh yeah, I'll be your friend.
Yeah,
But he just
The
doesn't know how
cider-
to like soften up the expression.
yeah. The sight of Ruijerd bowing his head to her was enough to break through the last of Eris's defenses. Everything was really so simple with her. It made me feel kind of ridiculous for overthinking things too much. Then again, I guess someone needed to compensate for her impulsiveness. Phew, okay then. I think I'm going to get a little more rest if you don't mind. What the heck, Rudius? You're going to sleep already? Yes, I'm tired, Eris. Very tired. Really? Well, that's a shame. Good night, then. I curled up on the ground, and Eris gently draped the cape she'd been lying on, or lying under, over me. Presumably, it belonged to Ruijerd. For some reason, I really was completely exhausted. Just as I was drifting off to sleep, I caught a few snatches of conversation from the direction of the fire. Are you not afraid of me anymore, girl? I'm fine. I got Rudius with me. Right. I'm going to get Eris home safe at least, no matter what. With that final thought, I let myself sink into unconsciousness. God, that was not enough water for that scream. Oh, huh?
But I love Eris Boreas Grey Rat.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Eris Boreas Grey Rat. Understood.
Okay,
I'm trying to see if he's more like a Soe or I'm like, in my mind, Ruijerd is like Knuckles and Soe in like the same body. You know what I mean?
He
Are we
is
talking
much
like
more-
movie
kind of like a
Knuckles or
warrior-
game Knuckles?
He is much more impressive than the last hedgehog I've
I
fought.
am.
Yeah.
He is 1,000,000% muscle. Yes.
Dude,
Yeah, it's like in my mind he's like
standing
that, so I'm
right
trying to
here.
Right
Yeah.
here.
Yeah.
Dude,
yeah.
I'm standing right here, Richie.
Actually, Sonic, I would like to fight
I mean that is
Richie,
kind of
no!
though.
it. Ah!
clicks
No,
clicks
Shem and
Knuckles
Shadow,
wrist
you're
like
a
left.
colorful bunch.
You're a colorful bunch.
I guess that makes Moon Tails.
Sorry, I'm making you don't see me, but I'm making the motion of twisting Knuckles' hand and wrist like it's a car key.
Well, I mean, look at it this way, Moon. You're the smart one.
Yeah, that's fair.
Fair enough.
You're-
Yeah,
you're
you are the
Tails.
smartest one.
Yeah.
I love that Sonic's like, so, looking
Does
for
that
an
make
alien
Rich-
bad guy, where do we go? And then suddenly, explosion. Maybe we
Who
should
is-
head for the giant explosion? Absolutely.
Yeah, we should probably hit it.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. All right.
Chapter Tree. A
Chapter
Master's
3.
Secrets.
A
Yeah.
Master's Secrets.
Once again,
Tree.
I was dreaming. This time, I was watching a group of angels descend from the skies above. It seemed pleasant enough compared to my recent nightmares, but I noticed that parts of the angels were hidden by pixelated mosaics. As they
No.
That
drew
is
closer.
absolutely a nightmare.
No! Yeah,
No, not mosaics.
they giggled at me. No, it's not Yogurt Man.
No.
They giggled at me in unison, and creepy grins spread across their faces. The instant I
Japanese
realized this wasn't
Spider-Man
going to be a
webbing.
happy dream, I woke up. Yeah. Yeah. Oh, God, another nightmare. I've been having many of those recently. I sat up slowly and studied the barren, rocky field of Earth in front of me. This was the demon continent, one half of the supercontinent that was torn apart in a war between humanity and demon kind, and home to the various demonic races once united by the demon god Lapis. Its area was roughly half that of the central continent, but it was a harsher place by far. There was very little vegetation, for one thing. The terrain was scarred and with cracks and fissures. Changes in elevation were abrupt, with great rock slopes jutting up like steps on a great staircase. Travelers would often find their path blocked by piles of boulders taller than a man, This place was basically a maze. What's more, its dense natural concentrations of magical energy meant it was plagued by numerous powerful monsters. From what I've read, walking from one end to the other would be like would take 3 times as long a journey across this larger central continent. We had a very tough road ahead of us, and I wasn't sure how to break the news to Eris. When I looked over, I found her staring out in the bleak landscape with excitement shining in her eyes. Um, Eris, it seems like we're on the Demon Continent, so. The Demon Continent! What an adventure this is going to be! Was that joy in her voice? Well, alright then. No reason to be a buzzkill and explain just how dangerous it is going to be. Let's move, said Ruijerd. Follow me. Together, the three of us set out across the barren plain. Apparently, Eris had made friends with Ruijerd while I was sleeping. She chattered away at him as we walked, describing her life at home, her lessons in magic, and her sword fighting practice with great enthusiasm. Ruijerd didn't contribute that much to the conversation, but offered polite expressions of interest where appropriate. It was hard to believe Eris had been utterly terrified of the man only the night before. At this point, she didn't seem intimidated by him in the slightest. In fact, she made a few offhand comments that bordered on being outright rude. It made me a little more than anxious, but Rager never seemed to take offense. Who said the spirit had a terrible temper anyway? They were clearly full of it. Of course, Eris wasn't quite as prone to bluntly insulting people as she used to be. Edna and I had basically drilled that habit out of her, so she probably wasn't going to blurt out anything too awful, or so I wanted to believe. Still, it was hard to know what might infuriate a stranger from an unfamiliar culture. I was really hoping she'd tread carefully here. Also, Eris tended to get infuriated pretty easily herself, so hopefully Regard would do the same. As that thought ran through my mind, I heard Eris's voice grow sharp with irritation. Rudius isn't your older brother then? Of course not. But sorry. Rudius isn't your older brother then? Of course not. But you share the name Greyrat. That is a family name, correct? That doesn't make him my brother. Was he born to a different mother, sired by a different father? No, that's not it either. I don't know how humans view these things, but you ought to be grateful that you have him. Look, you just got the wrong idea. Regardless, be careful that you have him. Ruijerd had spoken firmly, and Eris faltered for a moment before finally giving in. Of course I'm grateful. Now that we're really siblings, of course. Also, she's older than me. The Demon Continent lived up to its reputation for a rocky, steep terrain. The ground was so hard, dry, and dusty, more sand than soil. You hardly blame the demons for starting a war to break out of this lousy place. There were barely any plants at all. Every once in a while, I spotted a weird rocky thing that looked like some sort of cactus, but that was about it. Wait here for a moment. Don't move from this spot. You understand? Once every 10 minutes or so, Rager would order us to sit still and run off ahead. This time he leapt easily across a series of massive boulders, quickly disappearing from view. Man's physical abilities were unbelievable. I always thought of Galena as almost superhuman, but if you translated their raw agility in numbers, Rager might actually come out on top. Less than 5 minutes after his latest abrupt departure, he came hopping back to us. Sorry to keep you waiting. Let's move on. Ouija didn't explain himself, but there was a faint scent of blood on the head of his trident. Presumably, he'd cut down some sort of monster that may have blocked our way forward. From what I recalled of Broxy's dictionary, that jewel-like thing on his head acted like a radar of sorts. He was probably using it to identify potential threats before they got too close, then cut them down before they knew what hit them. Okay, look. Why do you keep running off like that anyway? Eris asked, blunt as ever. I'm dealing with the monsters on the road ahead of us, Regard responded concisely, parting his hair to the sides. He showed Eris the glinting red crystal at the center of his forehead. She flinched in surprise for just a moment, but the jewel was actually a rather pretty thing, and soon she was staring up at it with open curiosity. Oh, right! That must come in handy! I suppose it does, but at times I wish I didn't have one. Well, I'll take it if you don't want it. Come on, let me yank it off. It's not quite that easy, I'm afraid. Regard smiled a little. Eris really had come a long way. She was even making jokes these days. That was a joke, right? That reminds me, Ruijerd, I've heard the monsters on the Demon Continent are very strong. They're not so fearsome in this area. But we're some distance from the main road, so they're rather numerous. That seemed like a bit of an understatement, actually. Ruijerd had been fighting monsters every 15 minutes or so for a while now. Back in Asura, you could travel for hours by carriage without seeing a single one. True, the kingdom's knights and adventurers made regular efforts to exterminate any monsters within its borders, but even so, the encounter rate on the Demon Continent was absurdly high. You've been fighting all alone this whole time, Regard? How are you holding up? It's not an issue. I cut these creatures down in a single strike. Well, alright, but let me know if you're getting tired, will you? I could watch your back at least, and I do know how to use healing magic. Don't worry yourself, child. Weijard reached out and timidly patted my head again. He really loved doing that, didn't he? You just stay with your little sister and keep her safe, all right? Listen, I'm not his little sister, okay? I'm older than he is. Really? My apologies. Weijard tried patting Eris on the head as well, but she slapped his hand away sulkily. Better luck next time, big guy. Here we are. The walk had taken about 3 hours in total. We followed a long, winding path with a good bit of uphill climbing, so it took quite a while. But as the crow flies, we were only half a mile or so from where we started. I was surprisingly worn out, been feeling lethargic since the night before. Was this some sort of after effect of that teleportation spell? Maybe I just needed to work on my endurance. It wasn't like I'd been slacking off on my training with Ghislaine, though. Oh, it's a town! Eris exclaimed, studying the little settlement in front of us with great interest. That girl didn't even look slightly winded. I was a little jealous of her stamina. To my eyes, the place we'd arrived at looked more like a village than a town. There were maybe 10 or 15 houses at most, and the fence surrounding them was crude. I noticed a small field inside it as well. It was hard to tell what they were growing, but from the looks of things, it wasn't going to be a bumper crop. Was it even possible to farm on land like this without a river anywhere nearby? Halt. Just outside the gates, we were stopped by a boy. Oh, he was a boy. Just outside the front gate, we were stopped by a boy who looked like he belonged in junior high, and his voice fucking dropped like 7 octaves. His blue hair reminded me of Roxy. Yeah, I know who this is. Yeah, I know who this is. I was like, oh fuck. The guy does not have that kind of voice.
Show, can we have you retake that line, but actually sound like your balls are still up there?
He sounds more like halt, like that. Yeah, he's not old. Yeah, but he's not. He's not. Well, I mean, hold on. Oh, okay. Gotcha. Okay. He's yeah, he's Roxy's dad. Yeah. He's old, but he's old, but he looks like a boy. Well, he looks like a young man, I should say. Yeah, but he's not like halt. Yeah. Yeah, that's the thing. I know she's old. That's the thing. But I always forget. I was like, oh shit, it's this guy. He's not some fucking pig guard in front of a goddamn gate. That's what I pictured in my head as like the guard. So I was like, oh yeah, it's not him at all. Yeah. His blue hair reminded me of Roxy. I wonder why. Who are these two, Richard? The kid was speaking, or sorry, this is still that guy. Who are these two, Richard? The kid was speaking in the demon god tongue, but I could understand him well enough. My listening comprehension skills were apparently up to par. Remember that shooting star last night? That was them. I can't let such suspicious strangers into our village. What's so suspicious about them? Explain yourself. Reader's face was suddenly stern, his voice threatening. If he'd spoken to me this way last night, I probably would have run for the hills without a second thought. What is there to explain? Just look at them. They're victims of a magical disaster that occurred in Asura. They happened to be teleported here. That's all. But, look, even if that's true, what's the matter with you? Did you really leave these children to their fate? At this point, I noticed Regard was clenching his hands into fists. Acting on instincts, I reached out to grab his arm. He's just doing his job, Regard. But please calm down. What? Arguing with some flunky isn't going to get us anywhere.
He called him
Yeah.
flunky.
Ouch. Why don't we ask him to go get someone with actual authority? The boy scowled at the word flunky, but Regard nodded in agreement. You have a point, Rowan. Would you call for the elder? Yeah.
Actually, you have a point, and then he goes, Rowan, would you call for the elder?
Sorry. Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. You have a point. Rowan, would you call for the elder?
There you go.
Yeah, I was just thinking I might do that, actually. Rowan closed his eyes tightly. He then proceeded to stand there silently for the next 10 seconds. What is this? Are you going to get moving or not? Please don't tell me this kid just nodded off on the job. Maybe he's waiting for a nice wet kiss? Regard, is he? The Megard can converse with others of their race, even at a distance. Oh, now that you mention it, I think my master told me a bit about that. To be specific, she'd written in her Dictionary of Demon Kind that the Meagard were capable of telepathic communication with their close friends and family members. She also noted that she herself lacked this ability and had left her village because of it. Poor girl. Come to think of it, though, if this was a Meagard village, maybe mentioning Roxy's name would be helpful. Then again, I didn't know if she was connected to this specific place. There was also the chance it could backfire completely. The elder's on his way, Rowan said, opening his eyes at last. If we could, or if we could go meet him halfway. If you're not taking a step inside this village. Very well, then. With negotiations at an impasse, we just stood there for a while. As the awkward silence stretched on, Eris tugged at my sleeve and whispered, "Hey, what's going on?" Oh, right, she doesn't understand the demon god tongue. The guard here thinks we're suspicious, so we're waiting for the village elder to come look us over in person. What the heck? What's so suspicious about us? Furrowing her brow, Eris looked down at her clothes. She put on her usual sword practice outfit for our trip outside the city. It was a little light, but didn't strike me as odd compared to what Ruijerd was wearing. It wasn't like she was wearing a frilly dress. Should I be worried? About what? I don't know, just in general. We'll be fine, Eris. Well, okay then. Well, as Eris was.
I love how quickly she just has absolute trust and faith in Rudy at this point.
That's fair. Well, she's the only one he knows in a foreign land.
Well, well, yes, there is that, but like she had. I mean, it's been slowly developing over the course of everything. Oh, hey, Spider, thank you for the resub in the 27 months. But yeah, so over the course of book 2, we've seen that she's coming to love and trust and depend on Rudy, and now it's in full gear. But like all he has to say is, "We'll be fine, Eris," and she's like, "All right, Rudy's gonna look out for me. I'm good." That she just believes that in her core. That's the one thing about Eris that I absolutely love, and regardless of how anybody feels about Eris after season 1, the thing you can say is that Eris sticks to her convictions.
Yeah, I mean that's par for her character.
Yeah.
So,
all right.
Bold as Eris was, the prospect of an argument at the village entrance clearly made her more than a little anxious. My attempt of reassurance seemed to work, at least. The elder seems to have arrived, Ruijerd murmured after a moment. I peered into the village and saw a bald man with a cane who looked weirdly youthful. He was walking towards us with 2 girls who looked like teenagers. None of them were particularly tall. Maybe the Meagard just stayed that height, but even when they were fully grown. There hadn't been any mention of that in Master Roxy's dictionary, but the girl she drew to illustrate the entry did look like a junior high school student. I assumed it was a self-portrait at the time, which was somewhat charming, but maybe she was just depicting a typical adult Meagard. While I was pondering the matter, the village elder began conferring with Rowan a little way from our group. These are the children in question, then? Yes. One of them can speak the demon god tongue. It's very strange. Anyone can learn the tongue if they studied it, surely. Why would such a young human child study our language of all things? I had to hand it to Rowan. He kind of had a point on that one. Fortunately, the village elder just patted him gently on the shoulder. Let's not be too hasty, Rowan. Try to calm down, all right? I'll speak with them. That said, the little man began walking slowly towards us. For lack of a better idea, I bowed to him, a simple Japanese greeting rather than the fancy one favored by the Asuran nobility. Nice to meet you, sir. My name is Rudius Greyrat. Well, you're certainly a polite one. I'm Ruckus, the elder of this village. I glanced over at Eris, trying to prompt her to follow my example, apparently confused by the contrast between the man's apparent usefulness. Sorry, go ahead.
I'm sorry, but Ruckus? The way you pronounce that, I'm sitting here thinking like Uncle Ruckus.
Uncle Ruckus. He just hands him a job.
Well, you're certainly a polite one. I'm Uncle Ruckus.
What was your name?
The elder is
Ruckus.
Have a job application.
Anyhow.
Something Gray Rat, Ruckus Gray Rat, I don't care.
Yeah. Apparently confused by the contrast between the young man's apparent youthfulness and his dignified bearing, she crossed and uncrossed her arms. It looked like she was trying to decide whether or to assume her signature defiant pose. You should introduce yourself, Eris. But, I don't know the language. Just do it the way you learned. I'll tell him what you're saying. It's a pleasure to make your acquaintance, sir. My name is Eris Boreas Greyrad. After a moment's hesitation, Eris offered a textbook curtsy, just as she'd practiced in her etiquette lessons. The village elder's face broke into a smile. Did the young lady over here just introduce herself as well, son? Yes, that's the way you do it in our homeland. Hmm. It wasn't much like yours, though. Well, the customs are different for men and women. Ruckus nodded
You're the one.
thoughtfully at this, then bowed to Eris the same way I'd bow to him. My name is Ruckus. Is it Ruckus or Rockus? I think it's Rockus.
Rocus, I think.
With it
but
being,
Rocus. Okay, let's
yeah,
do Rocus.
Rokus. Yeah.
Roku.
My name is
Yeah,
Rocus.
it's a Roku.
I am the elder of this village. Yeah, Roku, yeah.
It's
A bit
Roku.
startled, Eris glanced over at me uncertainly. What did he just say, Rudius? He's the elder of this village. He's called Rokus. Or Rokus. But really? So I guess he did understand you. That's good. Eris smiled in obvious relief. That probably covered the initial formalities. It was time to get down to business. To defeat the Huns. Would you permit us entry to your village, Ruckus? Or Rokus? Rather than answering my question at once, the little man began studying me intently from head to toe. Ooh, such a passionate gaze. Cut it out. You're making me want to do a striptease. After a long moment, his eyes came to... I had to stop and, like, didn't he really just say that? After a long moment, his eyes came to a stop. Yeah, I know, but I was just thinking, like, was he really thinking that? Okay, he was joking. I was like, what are you doing?
Joking. Yeah.
Okay. Fixed on my upper chest. Where did you obtain that pendant you're wearing, young man? It was a gift from my master. And who was this master of yours, if I may ask? Her name was Roxy. The honest answer felt like the way to go here. At the end of the day, I was proud to have studied under her. What was that? Rowan shouted. Before I could respond, he rushed right past Rokus, to grab me by the shoulders. Did you just say Roxy, boy? Yes, that's my master's name. Out of the corner of my eye, I saw Regard balling his hands into fists. Turning my head to meet his gaze, I shook my head slightly. There wasn't any anger on Rowan's face, only anxious excitement. He wasn't going to hurt me. Where's Roxy now? Well, I haven't seen her in some time myself, but please, tell me anything you know. Roxy's my daughter. Sorry, come again? I'm not sure I heard you correctly. Yeah. Well, tell her everything. Could you repeat that?
Oh man, I'm sorry there, man. I thought I had
Ugh.
something crazy in my ear. Did you
Yeah.
say you're Roxy's father?
Father.
Do you mind? I don't come into your home and knock your brother out of your home.
Jesus.
Sel?
TF.
Why
yeah,
is he in Roxy's village?
TFS.
I just really was in the mood for some blueberries.
Ugh.
Do you want to see something cool? Well, there's some plants over there. They're just eating giant bugs.
Also, these people are apparently psychic.
I should practice that voice. I feel like that would be good for a slime ball voice.
Did he just talk out his ass? Well, to be fair, Vegeta, you are part of my DNA. Oh, scathing. That's the closest thing you've done damage since I've gotten here. All right, sorry.
Very good. It's all good. Roxy's my daughter. Tell me, is she still alive? Pardon, Monsieur? No. I think I heard you fine the first time, actually. Just feeling a bit curious about your age. This man didn't look old enough to be in high school, even. You told me he was Roxy's little brother, I would have believed you, but apparently... Yeah, interesting. Please, just tell me! It's been more than 20 years since she left this village, and we haven't heard a word from her since! So Roxy had basically run away from home. That she mentioned anything about that to me, of course. Honestly, Master, must you be so secretive? Wait, more than 20 years ago? How old will that make her? Well, why aren't you saying anything? Whoops, I'm sorry about that, buddy. Right now she's halfway through my sentence. I realized the man still had a death grip on my shoulders. It looks like, sort of looked like he was trying to squeeze the information out of me, didn't it? That was no good. I didn't want anyone thinking I'd broken under pressure. Not quite this easily, at least. I mean, if he'd smashed my computer, beaten me up, then barraged me with insults, that'd be a different story. I need to stick up for myself a bit here. It might make Eris anxious otherwise. Actually, I want you to answer a question for me first. How old is Roxy right now? What? Why does her age matter? Can you just... It's very important. Oh, and while you're at it, I'd also like to know how long the meager live. Yeah, this was definitely something I need to clear it up. Fine. Roxy would be 44 this year, I suppose. And we live around 200 years for the most part, unless some disease kills us first. Huh. We're the same age. That makes me kind of happy, actually. You don't say. By the way, would you mind letting go of me? Rowan finally released his grip on my shoulders. Okay, now we can talk. As of 6 months ago, Roxy was in the kingdom of Chiron. I wasn't there in person, but we were exchanging letters for a while. Letters? Can she write in human tongue? Yes. She knew our language perfectly by the time I met her. That was 7 years ago. Really? In any case, you're saying she's all right? Well, there's always a chance she came down with some sudden illness recently, but as far as I know, she's in perfectly good health. Rowan sank unsteadily to his knees. There was undisguised relief on his face, and tears were shining in his eyes. I see. So she's all right. She's all right. Thank goodness. Hey, I'm happy for you, Dad. I found myself thinking of Paul, wondering if he might react similarly when he learned I was safe. I'd have to send a letter to Buena Village as soon as I could. Turning away from Roxy's... Yeah, if only.
Mm-hmm.
Turning away from Roxy's weeping father, I addressed Rokus again. Now that we've cleared that up, would you be willing to let us inside? Of course. I wouldn't turn away someone who'd brought us such welcome news. Good thing I had this pendant. Never thought it'd come in or I never would have thought it'd come in so handy. I probably could have saved myself some time by showing it to them right away, but then again, depending on how the conversation went, they may have gotten the impression that I killed Roxy and stole it from her. Demons apparently had long lifespans, and it probably wasn't uncommon for them to look much younger or older than they really were. In other words, my appearance wouldn't necessarily protect me from suspicion here, especially if they realized my mental age was more like 45. I have to do my best to act appropriately childish. For now, at least, we'd managed to gain entrance into the meager village.
Okay, that's where we're gonna stop because the next chapter is a bit longer.
Foundations of trust.
And yeah, I don't think we're gonna get there by 10:00.
Ugh.
We made it through 3 chapters in one go. Good
Yeah.
job, man.
Mhm.
Thanks.
Also, good job flexing those acting skills, my dude.
I was,
Oh,
I
yes,
was
for sure.
trying.
Yeah,
Thank you.
That was fun. Okay, next week, hopefully, we should have Moon reading. So
Yeah.
We'll see. Kind of depends on when I can get home.
yeah. If you're not here on time, I'll read. Like
Mhm.
Sonic, it would have been you, but I know that your classes run late, and we can't like spend the full 30 minutes just dicking around. The big
I mean,
reason
when I
was
know it's
waiting
my
this time
week,
around-
I'll yeah.
Thi-
Oh, was it
the
this
thing is-
week?
well, this week was supposed to be Moon, but
Mhm.
both of you showed up 30 minutes late, so I was just like, all right, executive decision. I gotta give it to I'm gonna give it back to
Shem
Shem
again.
give it back to Shem again instead of me doing it 2 weeks in a row. That way,
Mm.
you know, I mean,
Well,
I'm-
Shem
I'm
read
not-
last week.
I'm
too.
not
That's
giving
why
either
I
of
think
you.
it
I'm not
ended.
giving either of you crap. I know you have other things to do, and I'd rather you show up
Mhm.
late than not show
It's
up at
work.
all. Obviously,
Mm.
but yeah, this. I understand your situations, but like at the same time, this week was an exception because I was purposely delaying for as long as I could for Sonic to show up initially because I wanted to talk about Data Bridge being out and have him be able to plug it and promote it and all that
Yeah.
jazz.
Mm-hmm.
All right,
Yes.
so guys, what do we
Actually,
think?
then another thing as well.
Yes.
So it's been a while, but
It's been a while.
Yeah.
that
It's
Sonic the
good.
Hedgehog audiobook that I am a narrator of has finally released its 5th chapter today as well.
Naruto.
Hey.
There you go. All right, guys. Let's talk a bit about these first 3 chapters and what you thought. There were some minor differences between the anime. Now,
yeah.
there's also a lot of visual stuff that you don't notice initially
Yeah.
when you watch. So, all right, do you guys remember in the anime? Well, okay, Moon, you had me with you to point this out, so you're kind of exempt from this. But like when they showed up in the demon lands, and he woke up from his dream with the icky man god, and
Icky.
he's sitting around a fire. He's not just burning like twigs; those are tree ant limbs.
Oh.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Oh wow!
Hey,
Hey, Blonde Pizza! Thank you for the raid,
Hello.
Prison Raid. Thank you
Hell
so
yeah.
much. Coming in with a
Welcome.
party of 5. Hi guys. Yeah, we're reading. Well, we just actually kind of wrapped up the first 3 chapters of Volume 3 of Mushoku Tensei. For those of you who might be familiar, it's as soon as Rudy and Eris enter the demon lands, meet Regerd, and then we get the stuff that happened out front of the Meagard village. So that's kind of where we're at. If you guys want to say, we are talking about it a bit and comparing the differences between the anime and the manga. Now, in case you're wondering, each season covers about 6 volumes of the light novels, and they actually go pretty close to the source material. They follow the source material pretty closely. There's a couple of parts that are left out, some side stories and stuff like that. So I would recommend checking out these light novels, of course, if you want to. Like the end of the last book, we had a side story that never made it into the anime, which explains where Ghislaine ended up after the teleportation incident and all the stuff that she went through, which was pretty
she's
cool.
a god.
Yeah.
And now she's worshipped as a goddess.
Yeah.
Which
is so funny.
understandable.
Okay, and
Understandable.
because we got
She
this raid,
accidentally a goddess.
because we got raided, and because we have new people in there, I want to plug it again. Sonic, your directorial debut over here on Fat Dog, your Data Live Abridged or Data Bridged episode 1 went live today over on the YouTube channel. So if you go onto YouTube, Fat Dog Studios on YouTube, you can find that there, along with a bunch of other stuff like our Shield Hero Abridged, Solo Leveling pilot. We did a Solo Leveling Abridged pilot and currently working on episode 2 of that. Oh, I should probably point this out since so many people didn't know that we released it. Episode 9 of Slime Abridged is out and up on the channel. It took us 3 years, but we did. I swear, it's been several months. It's out. Trust us. We're not stopping, and we'll start season 2 with episode 10. Aw, thank you for the follow. Appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah.
It says Nick something. The text is so tiny on this version. I miss being on my Twitch because I don't have to have when I'm streaming on my Twitch channel, the chat is in my OBS, so it's a lot easier to see when I get those alerts. But thank you guys. We appreciate it. Alrighty. Going back, we were talking about when you first show up after the man god stuff in the demon continent, it kind of looks like twigs, and you have to kind of pay close attention. Like the only reason I noticed it, the only reason I really noticed it is because I had read the light novels up to that point already. And so when I looked at the sticks that were in the fire that Regerd had made when Rudy woke up, I could see like the kind of like the twiggy hand. So if you know, but if you don't, it's easy to overlook.
I would have never paid attention to it.
So those weren't because, well, they'll talk about it later. That's the other thing I like about this volume. We go a lot more in depth about like the creatures in the demon continent, and like, yeah, we do like the Meagard village, we do the city of Rikarisu, but there's a lot more stuff that they kind of cover before they go from Rikarisu to Windport, right? So I think it was either 11 or 12. I can't remember which one they cut off from in season 1 was the cutoff point before they went to the second core of season 1. But they did like a montage in the credits of like their travel, and it made it look like it was just a couple of days or a couple of weeks. That was a year to travel from the northeast of the demon continent to the southeast of the demon continent, because the land is rough. The monsters are like some of the toughest in the world. Yeah. So yeah, it's definitely not as cushy as where they were in the central continent. The monsters aren't nearly as strong in the central continent. Yeah. The monsters are like episode 1 Jidu. A goblin could sneeze on them and they'd fall over dead. But yeah, good stuff.
There's a door now.
Is there any? Were there any other things that you kind of noticed that you thought were different between the anime and the light novel right now? After us going through this,
noticeably different. Trying to think. So far they really just talked a little bit.
Yeah.
I mean,
think,
it was pretty one for one with the anime.
and that's a good thing. That's a good thing because that
Yeah,
shows
yeah.
how close the anime actually is to the source material, and a lot of that is because the mangaka or rather the novel the author of
Words.
this. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. The author
Yeah.
of the light novels was very much heavily involved with this series because he
Yeah.
wanted to make sure that it was very close to, like, he wanted to
Ye-
make sure that everything was as close as they could possibly get it. And yeah,
Yeah.
I do really, really miss the difference between season 1 and season 2. I miss how they did the openings in season 1. I thought it was handled
Mhm.
so well, and we didn't need an actual. And the other reason why I thought it was really annoying is because there are major spoilers in the opening for season 2, or especially the
watch it,
second
so-
core. If you
Yeah.
all right, from this episode onward, because I know that you just finished episode 12 of season 2, Shim. Do not
Mhm.
watch the opening until you get
Yeah,
to
that's what I thought.
until you get to the last episode. Do not watch the opening for the second core.
Yeah. I try not to watch
There-
the openings of things anyway because there tends to be a lot of spoilers.
There's
I'll listen to
there's-
the song,
there's
but
a
I
pretty
won't
big
look at the
there's a
visuals.
pretty big spoiler there. But yeah,
Yeah.
there's good stuff. Yeah, season 1 was pretty wicked, Nick. It was very Nick with fries. Okay, I can read that. Yes, awesome. Nah, yeah, season 1's pretty wicked.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I don't think it's a little bit further on. There is some stuff in Rikarisu that they were trying to get through the city a little bit faster, and you realize that a lot of the stuff, even though it is very in line with the light novel, when you go
Mhm.
through it in the light novel, you realize how much time takes place. Because it feels like they're in Rikarisu for like a couple of days. It was a whole month they were in that town.
Mm.
You know the city
is a
that
lot.
with the like the castle in the center and like the crater like walls glowed when
Yeah.
nighttime came. Yeah, with the horse dude,
The horse.
the horse guy. I don't
Yeah,
know if
who's
they
dad.
showed it.
Oh
don't-
yeah.
I don't know if they necessarily showed it, but in I know in the light novel, the horse guy got so scared he shit his pants
Oh,
when Rieger threatened him.
Yeah.
Rudy says he notices a couple of sudden extra lumps in his pants, and then
oh,
like when he gets dropped, there's just a puddle of piss where he pissed and shit himself. He was so scared, which is kind of funny.
I mean
yeah.
that's fair. Horses tend to do that a lot anyway in real life, so that's just par for the course.
I think his
And
name
they're
was
already
Noko.
super anxious.
I think his name was Noko Para. Think it was
Yeah,
Noko
something
Para.
like that.
Yeah,
Something like
He's a
that.
family man.
I keep wanting to call him BoJack Horseman, my dude.
He is kind of like that. Well, I mean, he kept like trying to blackmail them and be like, "Oh
Yeah,
yeah,
it was
blah."
like yeah.
So he kind of invited that on himself.
If ever we get to do a freaking a bridge of this, that means we gotta have that guy
Oh,
sound
man.
like BoJack. Someone's gotta do their best Will Arnett.
All right, you
Hey,
wanna see more episodes of Mushoku Tensei Abridged, man? Talk to the Das Tales. Talk to Yusuf.
Back in
enough,
2024,
fair enough.
he was in a famous
Ah,
anime show.
Yeah, guys, there is an actual Mushoku Tensei Abridged. If you check out the Das Tales channel, he released
Yeah.
episode 1 of Mushoku Tensei. I don't know
Yeah.
who's voicing in all of it, so yeah. I just know that, dude, if I would like to audition for it, I'm gonna hit him up. I'm gonna ask him for a
Fun.
solid. I'm like, motherfucker, I cast you as Kazuma in my Konosuba one shot. You are going to give me the character of my
Casting me.
choice. You are going to give me the character of my choice in Mushoku Tensei. You already know I can act, motherfucker. If I have
What would
to,
you want then?
oh, I want to be Regered.
Oh, okay, that's fair.
100%,
Oh,
I wanna
okay.
be Regered. Yeah.
Yeah.
I know who I would want to
I
play.
well, technically, I
don't
want to
know
be
if I
two
could-
people.
could
I
probably-
want to be two people. I
Uh-huh.
want to be Regered and I want to be Zenoba, like because
Uh-huh.
they're complete opposites of one another.
What
The
about
Zenoba, the doll
Sorry.
otaku, you know.
Yeah, I know who you're talking about, but like
Oh, yeah. Yeah, no.
Wait.
No, I
Take
feel
it
like
over.
Cody could pull him off.
Wait.
Well, let's not completely typecast Cody.
What about
Damn.
Buddy
Yeah.
Buddy?
I think
You wanna
I
be
do.
Batty-
yeah.
You want to be Batty Gaddy?
I want
Yeah, I love that guy. He's so
Dude,
great. I love him.
That was
He's
my
wonderful.
second pick. All right, I got one.
No, you know what? I would love to see Cody play as Cliff. I think that would be hilarious.
All the
I
guy
Oh,
I
doing the
kind of
yeah.
really want to be the man god.
You
Can I
want to
be
be the
Atlantis?
man
I want
god?
to be.
Yes.
All right, fine.
You know
if
what?
Moon's
I
the man
know-
god,
I
I'm
know
more
I'm-
dead.
He is
I know
dead
I'm
on the voice
kind of
acting.
typecasting here. But I kind of want Panic Baby to be Elena Lise.
You sure you
Yeah.
don't want me to be Alina Elise?
Because she's
You
okay
sure?
with She's okay with NSFW stuff because she
Well,
voices
I'm also
darkness.
okay with that. Yeah, I'm
well,
okay with that.
yeah, but you don't voice darkness, my dude.
I know. I'm just kidding.
My
Just
my
me
guy.
being like Alina Lise and be like, "What's up, big boy?
What's up, big boy?
What's
You know
in
what,
that-
dude?
what's in
No,
those
I'd love
pants?"
to see you as Tall Hand.
Ah,
Yeah, why don't you play a gay
Ah.
dwarf?
I could do that.
Yeah, be
Be
a gay
like-
dwarf.
What's up, big boy? It's
Fair enough.
me, Tall Hand. Let's do this shit.
What's a gay dwarf's favorite
Let's do
song?
it.
I am a dwarf and I'm digging your hole.
Oh, I get it. Pickaxe ain't the only thing.
This
Why did I give him a
gavel is-
southern accent?
All I
He's
can
not
think
southern.
of, all I can think of is now the judge in my Konosuba. This gavel isn't the only thing I'll be pounding later.
Yeah.
I still,
Actually, I'm a
if you've
homosexual.
seen that scene, that I want to use that as my thumbnail for Konosuba.
Yeah, that works.
It's so
Yeah, that works.
stupid. I'll have to show you guys later. But yeah.
Yeah.
Any other
Yeah,
any
no.
other things you guys want to talk about as opposed to the anime versus the manga here or light
I'm
novel?
trying to think if their conversation between the man god and
No. Up
is-
to the
if it was
to
like
be
word
fair,
for
up
word
to
or if
this
it was
point,
longer. It felt
Uh,
longer here or more.
that's the
in-depth
other thing.
here.
That's the other
Yeah.
thing. It definitely feels. I think when you read it in the light novel, I think it really
He-
does feel like it has more time to breathe.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
I don't know. I guess I have to go watch it, but it didn't feel like in the anime he really told them a lot of things. You know what I mean?
I
He
mean,
just kind of went,
didn't
"Oh,
tell him
there's a guy
lot.
in front of you," and you're no, on purpose because
Yeah,
he's a
he
manipulative butthole.
kind of sort of. I think maybe some of the dialogue may have been cut down for time, but overall,
Yeah,
It was pretty in
and
line.
definitely,
Things-
he didn't say anything
I don't
or
think
didn't
things
say
are gonna
as much as he did
change.
here. Yeah,
Between light novel to anime, I don't think there's much of a difference until we get to the city of Reset.
yeah.
Yeah.
So I mean,
think
I don't
once
know.
we get
That's
there-
what made it.
and
kinda
there's
hard.
there's
Well.
minor differences, but you definitely feel the time that they've spent in that city. Like the time you feel that time. You know how much time has passed versus the anime, where there's no real. They don't really like show you a proper passing of time.
So
yeah.
it's kind of hard to tell.
Because
what
they've been that
exactly-
adventuring party, the dead end adventuring party. They've
Yeah,
been
for
dead end for
months.
over a month at that point,
Yeah.
and they've gone up like 1 or 2 ranks
Yeah,
at that point. But
yeah. Before later when he had to disband them. But that was like, meh.
gotcha.
That was.
Oh, that was a
later.
while after that, I think.
Yeah, that was like way later. So
Alrighty.
But,
Any last
yeah,
things?
I don't know. Other than that, I don't know. It felt like I didn't notice very many differences that were like blaring. But it was all right. I mean, it was pretty much what I expected. So that's cool. So yeah, it was good. It was good.
Mhm.
Great. So I don't know. You guys have any thoughts?
Not entirely. I'm getting
Yeah.
kind of tired.
Yeah, he's
I'm actually I'm genuinely curious what the fight between Orsted and Reger is going to be described in the novel here.
I got hurt and I ouchie. I fall on floor.
There's no
That's how
way
it's gonna be, word for
Reger.
word.
Reger's I'd imagine in a bridge series for that. It's like there's no way Reger's gonna lose this as he's getting the shit kicked out of him.
He
He's
was the first to
strongest
get
guy I
knocked
know.
out.
Yeah, like there's no way Reger's gonna be. Everything's gonna be. All fight Reger's on the ground
Yeah,
like
he,
Peter
he,
posing.
he was in like a coma. He was out first, and they were like, "Oh shit."
Oh,
Well, then again, that was partly I would say that was a majority of that was Rudy's fault. When like both of your comrades are stiff as boards and they're like terrified out of their minds, and the strongest guy in your party is like, "Don't fucking move a muscle. Don't
It's like,
say
I'm not even
anything."
sure. I'm stiff as the board here. You
Yeah, and then
oh.
Rudy is just like, "Hey, dude, do you know anything about the teleportation incident?" And it's like, "Dude, what are you doing? You were like 10 times more cautious with like everybody else before you." You know what I mean? I don't know. It just
I
felt
think
really
at that point
weird.
too. At
There
that
probably
point
more of an
too, I
explanation here in the novels, but I don't
So
know.
there will be,
my
but also
oh,
Okay.
I've had a bit of an explanation from Richie. So you know how Regard's thing with his green hair, you know how that works? Why people are everyone is afraid of the Spurd?
Is it because like some sort of curse on him?
yeah.
Exactly. It is a curse,
Yeah.
exactly.
Yeah, well, I mean, that's what the man god said, right? Didn't he
Yeah,
say something like, "Oh yeah, there's a curse that makes everybody scared of him,
Orsted
but it
has a
doesn't
similar
affect
thing
Rudy."
going on. Exactly.
Yeah,
Oh yeah, okay. I thought you were talking
So
just Reader's
they
curse.
both froze because of that curse, because also just kind of that presence. But
yeah.
it's not really affecting Rudy. So he's like, oh, this might be another thing of like people are afraid, but he's probably all right. I mean, look what happened with Regard.
I guess that's true too, but I was still kind of like, dude." Like, I don't know, maybe the anime just didn't make it seem like it was even a thing that crossed his mind at all. But
Probably.
maybe in the light novels, it probably expands more on it. But in the anime, it just made him look like, "Hey, dude, you know anything?" And it was just like, stop.
Yeah.
And then he ended
There's
up
also the
punishing
thing
him
about
bad. But
like at
I don't
that
know. To
point
me,
in
it
their
just looked kind of
adventuring too at the same
strange.
time, I
Yeah,
at least got the vibe of like, oh man, these are like, there's nothing these guys could go up against that won't like they will break a sweat at
that will
anything.
absolutely
And then
destroy them.
immediately cut to Orsted. I'm like, oh fuck.
Yeah, that guy does not fuck around. Like
I opened my
Rudy
mouth
has
and
only
shit
lived
happened.
because Silent Seven Star was like, "Hey, well, that guy doesn't seem like he's that bad." If she wasn't there, he would have just died on the spot, and that would have been the end of the series, game over.
No,
So I don't know.
he would have revived her.
Well, me or I don't know. I guess it's hard to say because that didn't happen, but But like, well, you guys weren't here, but not Rudy, Richie asked me about what I thought about since I'm halfway through season 2. He asked me what I thought about Rudy having PTSD upon seeing Silent Seven Star,
Mhm.
and I was
Yeah.
like, yeah, that checks out. If I
Yeah,
got
that seems about
gored
right.
by a guy and there was a masked girl with him, and then I didn't see them for like several months, and then the girl with the mask who I know was hanging out with the guy who gored me was visiting me, or I visited them their room and they were right there, I'd probably have a panic attack too. So I thought that was appropriate.
Okay,
So
sorry
I
about
was
that.
not blaming him for him freaking out and having a panic attack and then collapsing.
You never forget when someone's inside of you.
Yeah,
You know when they're coming.
fair. In
Go
multiple
on.
ways.
Once
Yeah,
you've
sorry.
had someone inside of you,
Thank
you
you.
know when they're coming. All right. So anyway, there you go.
I don't say. Where's Orsted?
Or well, I'm sorry. Once you've had a man inside of you, you know when he's coming. God damn it. Robots. All right, anyway. Good to know what you guys were talking about now. I'm like, oh, okay. All right. So hey guys, thank you so much for hanging out with us for this time. I hope you guys enjoyed our little conversation here toward the end. We do read these we do these light novel readings on Monday nights at about 8 p.m. Central Time, and it goes to about 10 or 10:30. And we try to talk about some of the differences between the light novels and the anime, but also we have a VOD channel for this on Twitch called.
Sorry about that.
You're good. Called Fat Dog Light Novels. So if you want to go to that YouTube channel and check out the stuff that we've read, because we've gone through. How many volumes of Slime did we read?
About
16?
16 or
Season
17.
2.
Yeah,
16.
Actually,
like that.
not 17.
Oh no,
it was
dude,
16.
we're way past season 2.
Yeah.
No, since
So
season 2.
Yeah,
At least.
well,
at least for me, anyway.
But we've gone
Like,
through
the latter half of
through
season 2, yeah.
16. We've gone through 16 light novels, and considering that it's like 3 to 4 light novels per season, because I think season
Mhm.
1 was 4, but season 2 was a little bit of 3, 4, and 5. Well, it was definitely 4, 5, and 6, and then
Mhm.
this season is 7, 8, and 9. So I think it's like 3 light novel volumes per season. So we'll get to 10, 11, and 12 by, oh my god, wow, we're getting all of these. I need to figure out how to ban those words cheap viewers on.
Jesus.
Just learn how to ban
Mhm.
those. Yeah. Oh, I know they're bots. I just gotta learn how to ban those.
You want to buy
that
some
phrase.
views?
Mm.
Yeah. No, I don't want to buy some views. We do
They
what we
have
do.
cookies.
That sucks that you can do that. That makes me sad.
We do what we do because we like it, not because we want to
I already
get
banned the third
views.
one.
Oh, okay. Well,
Oh.
okay, there we go. Thank you. Where the mods at? I mean, I'm right here, my dude.
We're all. Yep.
Same.
Yeah.
I mean,
All right. Anyhow, yeah. But yeah, generally we hang out, we read light novels, and we've got it archived over on our YouTube channel. And of course, once again,
Yeah.
we this coming Sunday at around 2 p.m. Central, we'll be doing our nerdy news show where we talk about all geeky things, whether it's general geek, gaming geek, or anime geek. And then we review the 3 shows for this season. We are going to be reviewing the newest episodes of Oshinoko, of course, Slime Season 3. And once more, we are going to be checking out Tower of God. I've given up talking about the animation for Tower of God. I'm with a lot of the reactors. We're just here for the story. We don't care about the animation.
Mm.
Like we've given up on the animation because the studio clearly has.
Anyway.
Oh man, it's like, yeah.
Which is a real shame because the animation in the first season was so amazing.
It was so interesting. It was so different from everything else. That's why it was so cool. And then it was like, dude, what happened? Anyhow, so yeah, we'll be doing that. We usually do that between 2 to 4 p.m. Central Time, and then at about 6 p.m. Central Time on Sunday, this Sunday, because it happens every other Sunday, we'll be reading the manhwa for oh my god, not Mushoku Tensei, the manhwa for Solo Leveling. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like, how dare?
And then
got
we voice act a lot in that, so like see us come do
Yes, what?
reading but also read acting. It was crazy last time because I was just like, all right, fuck it, I'll be Jiwoo, I'll be Jinu, and so I was
Yeah,
Jiwoo.
I wasn't able to be there last time.
I was like, you know what, I'm not gonna cancel it this time. No, I don't wanna. So that's that's kind of that. But yeah, that's kind of what we do here. And of course, over on, if you want to check out the other content that we make, Fat Dog Studios, we're a bunch of well, we make we're the worst kind of criminals. We make internet parodies. So there you go. We make internet parodies. We're horrible people.
My God, you're the worst kind of criminal.
Exactly. But yeah, we're gonna hang out, we'll do all that stuff, and yeah, have a good time. All right, so I know somebody I'm gonna raid. Let's see, Yap into the Abyss. We're looking for people to raid. So we're gonna do the Fat Dog raid. We're gonna raid Vaughn. For those of you that don't know, Vaughn is the director, the director of AkaiCon. We're gonna raid him.
Yes.
So thank you guys so much for coming by and hanging out. We'll see you next time around. Take care and bye-bye for now.
Goodbye.
Later.
Well, we got to wait a couple of seconds as the viewers get ready. I should have thought about that later. All right, here we go.
Oh, well, that's stock. Well, I already did the Henya. Okay, goodbye. Now I gotta do the other. There.